see me with it. You don't wanna see me with it.
It's time to explore your full potential. Set a goal, reach it, and then exceed it. Through the power of audio, we evolve from a mission We pioneer in audio technology aimed to make you transition. With a deeply rooted passion to perform, we base our know-how on heritage and visionary projection. Crafted to last, designed to excite, a balanced act of perfection. Engineered for people who require reliable connectivity and those who aim for victory. Developed for those who precisely command the sky and those who, even at a distance, feel nearby. Made for those who want to dive into a realm where reality meets imagination and those who connect across all nations. Immerse yourself again and again until it's time to strike and reign. Created for those who aim to succeed. Unleash your potential. EPOS, the power of audio.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a very special presentation here by XP Esports as we are bringing you the HSL State Championships for the beautiful Sunshine State of Queensland, and it is a beautiful sunny day here at TDG, live from the University of Queensland itself, as we're going to be bringing you the semifinals and grand final of what has been quite an amazing event. Now, we started with 12 teams beginning this single elimination knockout tournament, and today we're going to be watching the final four compete in best of 7 series as we take a look at some of the school teams that were able to compete this year, including the Marsden Makos, OC Redbacks, Somerset College, Forest Lake Lions, TSS Cyber Sharks, Grace Gamers Elite, Canterbury College, Mansfield Esports, JPC Esports, the SEC Wolfpack, Lakers Legends, and the Ripley Valley Raptors. Now, it was an interesting tournament. Again, most of it was not, unfortunately, able to be cast by yours truly, but the games were played and they had been exciting best of 7s from the word go. As you can see right here, 2 preliminary rounds to get through to the semifinals where we have our matches about to start off. The SEC Wolfpack, they got here by taking out the Marsden Makos Maroon, who won 4-1 back against Mansfield Esports, and then it was 4-0 for the Wolfpack, who we actually saw on stream yesterday. There might just be my pick to win this entire event. They'll be going up against the Grace Gamers Elite, who beat out the Lakers Legends 4-1 in order to get to the semifinal position. For Forest Lakes, it was a 1-through as well against the Ripley Raptors, winning 4-0 in preliminary round 2 after the Raptors took down the Canterbury Taipans. And of course, JPC Esports Eagles were another one of those highly seeded teams. They went 4-1 against the OC Redbacks, who got their win over the Cyber Sharks. So there you have it, our bracket thus far, as we get ready to move along. As we see our schedule for today, this opening match should be starting in roughly, after we get this intro done and dusted, will be the Wolfpack versus Grace Gamers. Then will be Forest Lake Lions taking on JPC Esports Eagles. Following that, our grand final should be starting around 6:30 p.m. All of these, once more, are going to be best of 7 single eliminations. As we take a closer look at there, yes, the Grace Gamers Elite taking on the SEC Wolfpack. Now, this is essentially a chance for these high schools to go head-to-head for that ultimate glory of being called the inaugural state champions as well. It's the first time we've held one of these events at XP Esports, so there is some pretty serious prizes, that you want, including, if I could get the camera back on me for a brief second, because we got the trophy right here we're going to be competing for. This beautiful, shiny golden cup is what's up for grabs right now. It says the HSL Queensland Champions of 2021 Rocket League. That's what we're playing for. And of course, these prizes have been helped and donated to thanks to some of the wonderful sponsors, including EPOS, who has been all about, supporting and promoting these high school events. Furthermore, we've also got on board, Computer Alliance as well as ZQ Racing. As per usual here, always supporting the endeavors of XP Esports, so a big thank you to all of them, as EPOS are also providing awesome headsets for the winning teams as well. So it's not just that trophy. I mean, the trophy is the glory. That is the honor. But the merch, the bling, that comes from the headsets that EPOS is going to be provided. So these students are going to be going all out for this one as we get ready to head towards the pitch. I believe for our first matches for opening kickoff should be right around the corner. Let the teams know. I get to do this myself. It's actually kind of fun that we are good to go. They are jumping onto the pitch. We are going to be underway. There we go. Just get rid of those names down below. On the blue side, as you can see, it will be the Wolfpack. Grace Gamers will be in orange. A quick one through these lineups. For the Wolfpack, you have Din, Rising, as well as Samp. Those of you who turned in yesterday will know all about these players. Meanwhile, on the side of the Grace Gamers, you have Super Pants as they watch Sam score that goal. I think we'll follow through the rest of the lineup in just a moment. As we see right here, Din through the corner, finds the pass to Super Pants, and gets themselves that opening goal. So really well played by the Wolfpack to get that first point. Again, Super Pants, Zethro, as well as Horizontal going to be playing for the Grace Gamers right now. They are going to be, I think, a little bit on the back foot, to be quite frank. The Wolfpack, as we saw yesterday, is a very, very strong team. They can be very aggressive. Din, competent striker. Look for Din to kind of be playing in that first or second man role, and will most likely be the one putting those points through. Rising as well, very fast player. We saw a lot of Rising, sometimes playing setup along the corridors, and that will be another name to watch out for, as Din's going to find an opening for a second goal of the game. Just 24 seconds, or well, in this case 36 seconds into the map, and we got ourselves a 2-0 lead for the Wolfpack, as unfortunately for the Grace Gamers, they kind of find themselves behind. Now, interesting thing about the Grace Gamers, this tournament was seeded ahead of time, and the Grace Gamers are the only team not seeded directly into the preliminary round 2 to get themselves into the semifinal, which means they had to pull off an upset to get here. Unfortunately, with the way how things are going right now, it could be a situation where the Wolfpack could just be a little bit too strong, as we see Rising being able to get another shot straight down the center into the net. 3 goals in the first 45 seconds of this best of 7. Tells us we might be in for a bit of a journey right now. Kickoff goal is going to be good for Super Pants, as no one from the Wolfpack even committed for that shot. As we watch this one again, yeah, 2 players go for boost. Samp just sits in the box. Not sure if that was a miscommunication or what exactly happened right there. A small disaster for the Wolfpack. They find themselves giving up their perfect game. 4 goals in our first minute, however, so a very high-scoring affair to kick off our first semifinal of the afternoon. That's going to be Rising looking for a double touch, not quite able to get it. Follow through from Samp, though, will find the goal as Rising actually was trying to make a save on his teammate. Does steal the goal away, so he'll get credit for the points himself, but realistically, you got to give that one to Samp. Samp was the one who put it on target. As Rising being a little bit cheeky right there, trying to steal goals away from his team. Minute and 1 second into this matchup. 5 goals already on the board and nearly make that 6. Will come off the post, not quite hit its mark right now. We watch Samp play through the corner, looking to chase through underneath, finds that touch. Can't quite get it into the net just yet. We see a bit of that back and forth right now. Maybe we can get some offensive pressure to come from this Grace Gamers side. They're on the blue side of the pitch for what feels like the first time all game. And, well, not able to find that goal that quickly. As we'll watch Rising. Pass it across the center of the pitch. Gets challenged and loses out to Zethros, but Din, a bit tighter spacing, means we'll get to the ball next. Allows an opening for Super Pants to play the middle of the field. Eventually the ball does wind up back on that orange side. However, it does feel as if the Wolfpack are starting to ease up a little bit. They're not playing as far forward as they initially did in this series. They're actually playing a bit further back, looking to kind of control the game perhaps, as opposed to getting a bit over-aggressive and leaving themselves exposed to any sort of freak shots that could come through from the Grace Gamer side. Horizontal trying to cross up with the backboard pass. Zethro actually makes solid contact with it. Defensive rotation, so a bit too strong from the Wolfpack. They're able to shut down the play before it goes too far anywhere. We see that ball continue to slowly bounce towards the corner. Super Pants again with possession. We'll keep it up until we see Simp looking for that pass across the middle of the field. Can only go so far with it. Halfway through our opening game. Still a 3-goal cushion in favor of that Wolfpack, who have been doing a very good job in controlling the tempo of this game. Even when they've, put on the brakes a little bit and they've stopped trying to run up the score, they've still been controlling the tempo largely, even more so on their defensive half, because something that you need to consider is, yes, the Grace Gamers are occasionally getting that ball to that blue side, are putting some shots on target. There's always, at minimum, 2 defenders behind the ball. It feels like in any situation, and the first defender is always constantly making that touch. So it's very a conservative game that we're seeing coming out of the Wolfpack after that first minute, but it's one that they've been able to dictate and has never felt out of their control. We're going to have to see something really innovative, I feel like, from the Grace Gamers if they're going to find a way to sort of wrestle that control back. As we watch Din put up a bit of a lobber, Samp was going to go for the spike, but wasn't quite able to get it, and this could lead to an opening, actually. Horizontal, unfortunately, couldn't keep that ball moving forward as fast as they would like, so wind up with a missed opportunity there. Ball in front of the net, not going to be capitalized on by the Wolfpack just yet. As we see Super Pants now looking for a pass across the middle. Only goes so far with it. Another shot from Horizontal off the backboard. Ball going to fall. Not quite there as we see Zethro actually going side to side. Setting up Horizontal. Ball off that backboard. Right into the net. Final minute of play. Haven't seen a Gorse Gold in a good long while, actually. The pace of this game has slowed down, and it's really not benefited either team grossly, although a chance for Zethro right here. Open net, and just unable to put it into the back of it. Very unfortunate. There was a bit of an opening there, as you saw. It looked like the Wolfpack was going to try to set up for a high corner pass, and they just never found the ball to set it up to begin with. But Zethro unable to punish. And with 30 seconds to go, a 3-goal differential. I'm feeling confident enough to say that even if a goal gets scored right here, which it won't as Zethro's shot is saved, we still are going to be looking at a Game 1 win for the Wolfpack. So happy days for the team in blue right now. They're going to be taking the first match, or the first game I should say, in this match. It's a best of 7 though, so still a lot of work to be done if they want to advance to that grand final. And wow, that opening minute looked incredibly strong for them. This more passive style, it didn't grant them any points. But again, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but it really never felt like they had lost control of that game. From start to finish, they were controlling that tempo. 5 shots compared to 9. So Grace Gamers did get a couple shots through. Not the worst in the world, but definitely going to be a case of the Wolfpack out in front to start this one off. As we move right along into our second game, you can see the players are jumping straight in. Hello, everybody. You get to see me. I get to wave. And then we get to go straight back to the pitch. Isn't that fun? Because we are kicking off game number 2 right now. I'm just letting you all know. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. Heart's still beating. We're still having a good time. Game number 2 going to be a fun one as well. Would like to hope. Hopefully the Grace Gamers can start to bring this back a little bit, as they did struggle, particularly in that first minute. Let's see if the Wolfpack continue to put that pressure on. Also going to be taken across the middle of the pitch by Zethro, who actually takes it all the way to the back corner as well. Still, Din steals it away, gets the dunk on horizontal. Now up high through the corner, ball bouncing towards the net. Racing can't quite stay with it. That's going to leave it back for Din. Sort of play that back corner, eventually does win out and abandons the play, so doesn't want to follow through. Instead wants to fall back for boost. Would have liked to see Din follow through on that. Could have gotten a nice bump, which could have helped out the team. Instead, well, we're going to have to look to Din to maybe make the save right here through the corner. Does slow the play up, allowing Samp to be the player to get that clear until it's intercepted by this orange side. Back and forth we go. Now Samp's going to try to bang it up high through that corner as well. Needs that fall through from underneath, but no defenders are there. Shot came from Super Pants, but it wasn't accurate enough. 1 minute into this one, still no goal has been scored as we see Rising. Voice crack right there. Apologies for the voice crack. But no goal was to be had. It's been some wild esports happening as of late, so if my voice does crack every on occasion, you know, when the action gets good, I'm just going to preemptively apologize right now. We'll move on. Been some exciting esports that's happened since we saw you last. As we see Samp dribbling it straight down the middle of the field. Shot on target, going to be saved by Super Pants. Follow-up shot, though, coming from Rising. And that's going to be the 1-0 lead the Wolfpack we're looking for. They're back out in front. Going to be quite happy with that. Samp was the one leading the charge. I feel as if in this series so far, we are all a part of the Wolfpack's world right now. And the Grace Gamers are just doing their best to try and live in it, because they've been getting touches and they've been having these moments, but we still haven't had that breakaway play. And there it is. That's some of the edge I was looking to see, hoping to find from the Grace Gamers. As you watch this right here, horizontal stays with it, finds that next touch. Just that little bit more to get Rising off balance. And that's going to be a tie ball game, so really well played. Rising, kind of curious what happened right there. You know, not expecting horizontal to be able to stay with the play. And perhaps, you know, there is a world where the Grace Gamers were playing possum for a little bit for the first game and a half. Could be a case, too, that this team needed to warm up a bit. We'll see if that, you know, momentum will be able to carry over to other members of the team, because that was a bit of a solar flare. Well, now it's Super Pants' turn to go for something. Tries to get the pinch. Was unable to find that angle. Zethro still going to keep that pressure on the blue side of the field as we see horizontal follow it up. Ball in front of the net. Shot taken, but it's going to be saved by Din. As now Rising throws it back across the field over to Din, who's got some space to work with. Instead of going for a freestyle shot, just try to drive it as far and hard as possible. Not too sure I'm a big fan of that approach actually out of Din. Would have liked to see a little bit more control behind it, just keeping the ball as close to the car as possible. That typically is where you find success when going for solo plays, as we see Samp now looking to do something similar. Does get a little caught up in the corner at the moment. Ball bouncing in front of the net, but will be cleared out by Zethro. Able to follow it through quite yet. Ball up for grabs. Super Pants wanted a shot. Instead found Din. As now we see Rising as well, getting caught out underneath. Zethro, no boost to follow this one up, and as well as a weaker touch. That will cause a defender to commit. And with that interception, we now see the attack. Rising going for the reset. Unable to pull it off, and now it's a 2v1. Din needs to make a play. Does slow down that breakaway. And with that, we approach our final 100 seconds with still a tie ball game. Horizontal nearly put in the own goal, but Din will help it along its way. It's a 2-1 lead in favor of the Wolfpack. Catch that again. Rising off the post. Din is there. Fantastic little shot. Fantastic little goal. The Wolfpack advancing to 2-1 in this series. Just 90 seconds to hold on to, and they will be looking 2-0. A very fine place to be as we see what Super Pants can do. Answer is taking to midfield. We're losing out on that one. Rising as well, kind of falling short on that challenge pass. Now back across that middle, as Rising's going to have to chase it back. Din puts up a lobber. Ball gets spiked down, but here comes Rising, having a look, having a touch. Pass across to Sam. Shot not accurate enough. See what happens in the corner, though. That's Din with the first touch. Doesn't find the second, but Samp, however, does. As we're crossing up the field. Big bump, big play. Rising as well. Another pass across the center of the field. Back and forth we go. Final minute of action. Samp tried to find the ceiling shot, but just couldn't quite put it accurate enough on target. The defense from the Grace Gamers is being forced very far on that back foot. They're playing off that backboard, and then when they advance, they kind of advance in these clumps of two. The spacing is incredibly tight, and for how hard they're hitting it, they're not going to find that much success. Shot, post, someone tap it in, please. Thank you, Zethro. We were stuck there for far too long. That's going to be a tie ball game with 31 seconds left as we have to watch this again in agonizing slow motion, or at least what felt like it. I mean, I don't know what to say. Very, very fortunate for the Grace Gamers. They're able to put that one in. And one more goal, we get ourselves a tied series. And considering how dominant that first impression was for the Wolfpack, if the Grace Gamers bring this one back, it's going to be quite monumental for this orange side. The question is, can they hold on for these 20 seconds? Because SEC are on the hunt. Zethro gets a nice 50, and that might open up the doorway. Shot on target. Din was there. It'll be a relatively easy save. Do we see the counterattack? It's going to be hard. Shot still came from Din. Almost hits its mark. 3 seconds remaining. The ball will go corner to corner. Chasing along that backboard is Sam. Ball hits the ground. We go to overtime, and that's going to be the decision. That was a conscious decision, it felt like, from the Wolfpack to take it into overtime. They wanted to push that ball a little bit further forward. Have the kickoff go their way, and go their way it does. Off the backboard. Should have seen a shot, but Super Pants kind of gave, I feel like, the SEC side a case of the whiffles right there, as we saw the whiff come from Super Pants, and the two players who tried to make the read couldn't. Shot comes off the post. Going to be saved yet again, as Rising going to go side to side, now looking to chase it up the wall. Actually doesn't make contact, so here comes the Grace Gamers, and they get the goal in overtime. 33 seconds to tie up the series at 1 apiece. And our best of 7 turns into a best of 5. Yeah, just off that post and in. Super Pants puts the ball in the perfect spot. So, interesting. Interesting, because I feel like the Wolfpack, since they put on the brakes in game number 1, haven't had that edge, and I was kind of expecting them throughout that game to refine that edge and sort of reestablish themselves as that more dominant team. However, we never got that from them. We never saw that kickoff aggression that gave them not 1, but 3 goals in the first minute of play back in the last game. So a little bit shocking, very surprising, but for the Grace Gamers, they've already pulled off 1 upset. There's a very high probability now they might be able to make some waves yet again. We're no longer in best of 7'sville. We're now in best of 5 town, which means a little bit more stock standard for these teams perhaps. Kind of curious to see where we go from here as we get ready to kick this next one off. Rising off the kickoff, going to try to create some shooting pressure, kind of driving it straight at the net. It's not going to hit its mark just yet. Shot scored actually by Rising. Well, there you go, from the sidewall. Rising actually is going to get the opener. As we can see right there, the ball just took a weird bounce from the corner. And with that elevation, I don't think the Grace Gamers were really ready to chase that one up, so they do find that one going a little bit against them. We continue along. Still very early into this third game, still a lot of time for the Grace Gamers, who've already pulled off 1 comeback, I suppose, in game number 2 to once again find that momentum. They're going back to that backboard defense, though, where they found success in the second game, playing so far back. A little bit surprising that they were able to find that kind of success, but they might have it again as Zethro takes the shot. Going to be saved out. A little bit of pressure coming from the Grace Gamers, always a good sign, always something where we want to move it forward. And I've been really impressed with the play of both Horizontal and Super Pants in particular. I think these two players, when we've seen the offensive pressure come from the Grace Gamers side, it has come from these two primarily, although Zethro put on a nice touch right there, kind of went straight to Samp, who was playing a little bit of goal keep and actually tries to take it all the way up the other way. I do appreciate seeing that. It is in my personal belief that if you're going to play goalkeep, you need to follow your plays through. Speaking of which, Din follows that play all the way through into the goal. As we watch this one once more, Rising just able to make the first and second defender miss on the setup, and Din beats Horizontal to the play. Super well done for the SEC Wolfpack, who now find themselves up 2-0 in our third game. Kickoff goes in favor of Din. Super Pants. Alexa in that upper corner. Din now looking to follow it through. Needs to pass it back, looking for Rising, but the ball won't quite get there in time. To go up that other way. Samp watching that ball sail high in the air, now looking for that pass back across the middle. Caught by an attacking Din, I believe. Not able to quite get that play that they were looking for. Now Samp tries to fall back, has to go to the corner defensively. What can they do from here? Well, the answer is put on even more attacking pressure if you're at the side of the Grace Gamers. They're really trying to box the Wolfpack in as deep as possible. Stuck in the corner once more. Samp somehow is able to create the space, but it's taken advantage of. Shot barely saved by Rising. The second shot comes off the post as well. And it's a little bit disappointing for the Grace Gamers. They kind of needed that goal, I feel like. Still plenty of time left in this game. But it's so much more feasible when you're only down by 1 as opposed to the 2. It tells you that you can score at any moment and be okay now. If at any moment goal is scored a bit too late, the Grace Gamers could find themselves well and truly just out of position. As we see more Grace Gamers attack. Bit unfortunate that the bounce didn't quite find its way back over to the Grace Gamers side. So we will get to see a little bit of the Wolfpack and their attack right now. The pack attack. The Wolf. Nah, there's no good one. No W. That works out. So the Wolf Walkers, yeah, nah, not the same. I like the pack attack. The Wolf pack attack. That sounds nice. Rolls off the tongue. Good to play with. Still 2 minutes left in this third game. Still struggling to really see too much offense, unfortunately, come from the Grace Gamers side. They're really going to need to find some way. And bumping each other on defense, not going to be the answer. As we watch Din from underneath, again, stop any counterattack before it really gets going, or in this instance, at least slows it down. That allows Sam to be able to rotate through the middle of the field, keep the attacking pressure in favor, just keep the tempo and control in favor of this blue side. The SEC Wolfpack absolutely just continuing to control pretty much every single aspect, not just of this game, but I would argue of this series right now. Yes, we did see Grace Gamers win that last one in overtime, but it didn't feel like the Wolfpack were playing to their strengths. And even in this game, after getting a couple early goals, it can be argued that the Wolfpack once more have sort of, put on the brakes a little bit harder and a little bit earlier. And they're just playing that defensive game. They might not make plays, but they're definitely not going to allow plays to happen against them. As we move towards our final minute 10 seconds of game number 3. In. Rotate back towards the box, where we'll see Samp now be the player who kind of plays it out of the corner. Wanted to throw it back to someone in the mid lane, it looked like, but just wasn't able to find that connection. It would have been too far back for a proper shot to be had. Still, Rising going to be taking shots on occasion. Still going to be peppering that goal, trying to keep the Grace Gamers a little bit honest. A quick goal here could lead to the comeback. We see Samp go for that challenge. Ball nearly makes it all the way to the backboard, but instead Din will be the one with control of it. Still 30 seconds left on the board right now. It'll be Horizontal taking the shot. Only goes so far with it once again, and it's looking more and more likely as we hit that 20-second mark that this game is going to go in favor of the Wolfpack. Once again, a controlled, methodical game from the blue side. Kind of similar to game number 1 after they got those 3 quick goals. This time, it only took 2. 2 being the amount of wins they have in the series. 2 more being the amount of wins required for them to advance. As we are looking to go to game number 4, Samp will go ahead and make it a 3-0 lead. Just a missed touch out of Zethros, and by that I mean no touch was had at all on that attempt to corner clear it. Very unfortunate, but doesn't change things at the larger scale of it all. We're still going to be seeing a victory going in favor of the Wolfpack, who once again take control of this series, take control of their destiny. Very well played from top to bottom. I mean, this side is looking very, very good. I mean, a very low action game overall. It was actually the Grace Gamers who put more shots in than it was the Wolfpack. 6 shots from the Grace Gamers, only 5 from the Wolfpack. So that's a little bit surprising. However, none of the shots felt threatening, I want to say. And as harsh as that sounds, there is some truth to it. Grace Gamers were constantly just putting that ball almost straight towards the net and never really mixing it up much, where when you sort of looked at how the Wolfpack was attacking the ball, they came from all angles, often from the corner, looking for those passes back to the center where they were able to strike it in. So very much a strong game in favor of that Wolfpack. And if they can continue this more dynamic offense, I think they'll continue to find that kind of success. And that's where my eyes are going to be on whether or not the Grace Gamers defense can actually stop some of these setups coming from the Wolfpack side. As we are kicking off our next game, it is game number 4 in this best of 7. Wolfpack up 2-0 to 1. Sorry, not 2-0, 2-1. Grace Gamers did win a game, and they would love to win this one and make this a best of 3. They'd love to keep the series as tight as possible, because even if, the Wolfpack wins this one, they might not win the series, but they will be putting themselves in that position where at 3-1 series scoreline is forcing the Grace Gamers in what would traditionally be a more, I guess, reverse sweep situation. Typically, the reverse sweep is to win 3 in a row. Obviously, in a best of 7, it's win 4 in a row. Why best of 7 sweeps are that much more difficult. However, we'll see what happens right here. Also, yes, I can see you, Twitch chat. Appreciate you, Jack Stewie, as we continue along right now. Ball in the quarter. Super Pants. Gonna go ahead and chase things along, trying to fall back towards that backboard, but it's actually a player in the corner. Pass over to Samp. Going to come off the post not once but twice, but that's why Din is there. Third member puts it through. That leading skull taker. I try to say score and goal at the same time, so we call him the skull taker. Wolfpack's kind of Norse. Skull is what the Vikings chant, at least in Minnesota. Really do hate that team, but I love the Wolfpack, especially when they're playing well. So 1-0 right now for SEC as they move along. And don't be Vikings fans at home, kids. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. If you're a fan of the Minnesota Vikings, go Pack, go, and I can't wait to see you guys get crushed this season. 3:51 still on the clock. As we see a pass back across the middle of the field right now. Rissing actually going to throw it back down to Samp, or Zethro will take it away. And I keep calling them Zethro because a Zethro toll is well, it is Zethro. There is an R there. Dyslexic moment. I lost sight of the R and thought it was part of the O for some reason. I don't know if that's actually a dyslexic moment. That could just be a blind moment. Either way, not what you want to do, but still, Zethro Toll, great band, love the flute, love the pressure coming from the Wolfpack as well at this stage, as they're continuing to try and play through those corners where the Grace Gamers have struggled on defense a fair bit. Here we go, 1 touch, 2 touch, Rising cannot quite drive it straight into the net, but Din will be able to fall through the middle field. Double commit actually from the Wolfpack in the corner, left open the entirety of the middle of the pitch. But the Grace Gamers not playing high on that backboard, unfortunately unable to capitalize on that situation. They are going to be struggling a bit now as once more they kind of lose any semblance of offensive pressure that they had, however fleeting as it was. Although, crossing up Din might be a way to get it back. Din doesn't make the read. Ball gets lobbed towards the net. Here comes the shot, but it's, whoa, a bit too tight. The third man follow-up, though, will be good. It takes all 3 members, but eventually Horizontal is able to put it in. And we got a tie ball game halfway through or thereabouts of game number 4. Here we go. Also, thank you as well, Zacking. I catch you there as well. Appreciate it. 2:36 still on the clock. Wolfpack. Again, it feels like they controlled 90 to 95% of this series, but every time they slip up, which has been a couple occasions, the Grace Gamers have been there, so we do not count this team out as we watch Samp try to set up something in the middle of the field. Eventually, Din will be able to take it off him again, gets to that backboard, but not quite able to connect across the middle. It does look like the Grace Gamers, actually, in these corner setups, are getting more and more aggressive each time. They're starting to cheat further and further forward, cutting off plays before they start. Samp got above that, and that's going to be the 2-1 lead retaken by the Wolfpack. As we catch this one against Samp, just the most delicate of touches to keep Super Pants away from the play. Really well done right there. The Wolfpack retake control of this 4th game, looking to go to match point. They've now got to hold on for another 2 minutes as we see Super Pants go for the challenge but lose out. I will say this. I always talk and joke about, North American sports, and I never really joke about North American Rocket League. Space Station Gaming, if you're going to support that team, Super Pants, I approve. Unfortunately, Samp doesn't, and Samp's the one scoring points against you right now. As we see this one again, Rising finds that next touch off that side wall, is able to throw a backboard pass up to Samp, who will push it through. Now a 3-1 lead. The Wolfpack are feasting on the Grace Gamers right now. Let's see what they're going to be able to accomplish moving forward as Samp looking to put one up, but only goes so far with it. Horizontal now in control of that play. Actually gets demoed, a little bit unfortunate, and now Samp will actually be the next player to make the touch. From underneath, Rising tries to find a shot on target, tries to leave it for Din, actually, who isn't able to make that read just yet. Back corner, Horizontal gets a little bit of a touch ball in front of the net, but no one there to finish that strike through. Here we go. Horizontal doesn't get the clear. Instead throws it to Rising, who gets past 1-2, but not the third defender. Super Pants able to take it back to the middle of the pitch, but because of the double commit beforehand, that means there's no one behind it. It's a case of the Whiffles starts to plague both teams momentarily. No one quite fast enough to find that clear. Eventually the Wolfpack was able to create some space with it. Final minute of play in game number 4 as a weak shot goes a little bit too tight. Follow up from Samp, though. Not followed up enough. Counterplay down the middle. Super Pants, no power behind the power play, so it's kind of more just of a play. That doesn't go too far. 40 seconds. Samp, again, looking to create space. Finds the second touch, gets the ball jammed in the corner, and that allowed the Grace Gamers time to fall back. They need this counterattack to be successful, however, and they are staying behind the ball. It's a bit of a weaker touch, though, as we see Horizontal put some more pepper behind it, only to keep it away from defenders, but it kept it away from the attack as well. 20 seconds, and Din gets a massive clear. That's most likely going to put game 4 out of reach. See Din crossing up what they can. Final 8 seconds. That's going to do it for this one. It's going to be a 3-1 victory in favor of the Wolfpack and a 3-1 series score in favor of the Wolfpack as well. Yeah, we can talk a game. We can talk series either way. The Wolfpack, they're only one game away from taking this one down as the ball actually kept alive. Eventually does hit the ground. So there you have that. The Wolfpack, they move on to match point and a chance to compete for glory again. They win this next one, they go to that grand final. And moments of brilliance. There's been flash moments of brilliance from the Grace Gamers. Occasionally they have been able to get those touches, find those counterattacks, and look quite good. But it's been coming off of cases where the Wolfpack either double commits or just over commits in terms of their on-track positioning, and they find their third man stuck in no man's land. That's not going to cut it, I think, as we move towards our next match in this one. And I think a fun way that I would like to see it be combated by the Grace Gamers would for them to be a bit more physical. Keep 2 defenders back, yes, but have a third player spy or look for demos to disrupt some of these offensive rotations. Perhaps that can open corridors for faster counterplays, and then they'll be able to take advantage in case of those odd missteps that we've been seeing the Wolfpack make. Either way, though, we're going to be jumping to the pitch for game number 5, potentially our final game in our first semifinal of the afternoon. Once more, the Wolfpack in blue, Grace Gamers in orange. Grace Gamers back against the wall. They're going to need the win right here. We see that pressure be started off right now. Samp, whoa, feels a little bit back flip. Unable to keep a major possession on that ball. Horizontal. Watch as that one gets set up. Super Pants now stuck in the corner as well. Was able to throw it back over to Zethro, but the save is made by Din, who will follow it up along that corridor. And now nearly has the ball drop right from the net. Zethro comes through with the save. It was a little bit of an awkward double commit. And those are the kind of mistakes that we can't afford to be seeing made. Din had a semi-open net. There's still a defender there, but doesn't even give himself a chance to find that shot, as with the whiff, it was up to Rising to keep the attacking pressure momentarily. Tries to cross up the defense. Does get Horizontal to bite. And that almost opened the door for Samp because Zethro had pushed forward as well. Very fortunate that shot doesn't go in. Little mistakes creeping up on the Grace Gamers again in terms of their positioning, but on the attack, Horizontal has looked very good on a few occasions. It's interesting to me because Horizontal did not come in like early games as the player who may have been the most impressive, kind of was sitting average, but as the series has moved forward, Horizontal proving themselves to be the fastest attacker, I feel like, on the Grace Gamers side when we're looking for these sort of quick counteractive plays. Horizontal has been the catalyst for a lot of them. 3:30 to go. Still no goal scored. As that could be the first. It's off the post and not in. Super Pants going to be a little bit frustrated by that. Nearly had the golden angle right there. That could have been massive for the Grace Gamers side. Still on that attack right now. It's an awkward touch from Din. And this time Super Pants isn't going to miss. That's going to be your goal scored. And this emphasizes the importance of the delicate touch. Din just put too much power behind that. And this comes from a bit of miscommunication as well. Had we seen Rissing be a little bit further forward on that rotation through, then you put yourself in the position where, okay, you can put the ball in the middle of the pitch and you have a teammate bang it. But at the time, teammates were either rotating back across the middle or actually playing up on that backboard around the corner. So when Din put it in the center, there was just no follow-up there. And that allows so much time and space for Super Pants to put that ball wherever they might happen to want it. And, well, they choose the only logical place. Back in the net as Din goes for a spike. Unable to get it through. 250 still on the clock as Rissing. All right. And I want to watch this one again. A little bit confused how this one went down. Rissing just had that read on horizontal. Ball bounced awkwardly off the ceiling, and Samp wasn't even needed to make that touch. High ball game. 246. The Wolfpack, one more goal required, and they'll get themselves a very tasty win. Get themselves through to that grand final, a chance to compete for the state championship. As we see what Din can do in front of the net. The touch wasn't even there. Didn't even need to touch as Rissing again just puts one towards the net. And with the player immediately behind the ball, even if a defender had been able to make contact with it, Din would have just been able to tap it through. And we now have the Wolfpack potentially going to that grand final. They've got themselves a lead on match point, but that lead might be short-lived off the post horizontals. They're saved by Rissing, who was able to wrap themselves around. Good little heads-up play by the Wolfpack defense. SEC are going to want to get that ball back to the orange side of the field. I feel like they can't keep an offensive rotation held for so long. Can they do it for 2 minutes? Probably not, but they can definitely kill a lot of time, or they can let it slip by. That was a scary situation for the blue team. Able to recover for now. We see Super Pants losing out on that challenge. Might open the door for Rissing. Actually, shot, target, goal. Gets it off the spike. And now it's a 2-point lead. Very dangerous. Again, two defenders on the backboard. No one quite in position to go for that intercept. They had to rely on the last-second save. And it's always going to be so difficult when you have a striker with those kinds of capabilities able to put the ball wherever that they want. Rising, I should say. Probably been pronouncing this guy's name the entire time, so I do apologize to you, Rising, but Rising, again, just absolutely striking that ball. A 2-point lead with 100 seconds to go. Not to sound generic, but I say this a lot. The 2-goal lead is often the most dangerous, especially if a goal is scored in the final minute. I'd say from a minute 15 to 45 seconds left on the clock, if we see the Grace Gamers get a goal, anything could happen, because that just seems to be the time window where you really start to question how strong your lead actually is. And we're hitting that 1 minute 15. I want to see a goal scored by the Grace Gamers in the next 30 seconds, or this series might be over. Well, we could see a goal go the other way, though, as at the moment it is the Wolfpack. The team pressing forward. Din gets it held up in the corner. Now Sam tries to follow through. Pass back towards the middle. No one there to follow it up, but no one there to clear it either. So Rissing goes for the slow play, gets it past two defenders, and slow rolls it underneath into an own goal. Not like this, Grace Gamers. Not like this. That's probably going to be the dagger that ends this series. As we see it again, Super Pants putting it in the net, and I hurt inside. I do, but we're needing 3 goals in 56 seconds. It is a tough ask. Zethro open net, puts it high, and the follow-up shot saved as well. Rising up to the defensive challenge. I think now has iced this game. Kickoff goal nearly comes through, but it's going to be too little too late. And, well, I mean, zero little is, well, zero late in this case. It is going to be the Wolfpack most likely advancing. So close to starting that comeback as Din almost puts another one through as well. Actually, Rising's going to follow it up, going for a little cheeky double touch right here. Instead of looking to waterfall it back down, and perhaps Din will push us into the corner. 15 seconds left. As we see this follow through right there, Samp doesn't quite get the touch that they need. And that will do it for this series. The SEC Wolfpack are advancing to the state grand finals. This team do it in quite dominant fashion as well. A 4-1 series victory. They let Game 2 get away from them, dropping that one in overtime. But when your only loss is in an overtime, in every other game you win, looking quite comfortable in the process. 4 goals scored by Rising in that 5th game, might I add. Well, then it feels like all the momentum is going to be in your favor. A big congratulations to them as they continue on. We'll be seeing this team play again a little bit later. Roughly at around 6:30 time was when we'll catch them once more. And to the Grace Cavers, a valiant effort from a team that you could kind of tell from the start, perhaps not quite as experienced as the Wolfpack. Not there today, but they can still compete, of course, in other XP events like our traditional HSL League. For now, though, we got to look at that big picture. Forest Lakes versus JPC Eagles. That match is going to be up next right now. In Forest Lakes, they have yet to drop a game. The JPC Eagles, they were able to survive the OC Redbacks. Both of these teams have momentum. They have that confidence, but only one of them will be advancing to that grand final. So, if you want a chance at some pretty sick headsets right now, some H3, either Onyx Blacks or Ghost White, depending on where you finish. Black for the winners, white for runner-up. Well, you're going to have to get to that grand final first, so stay with us. We'll have more Rocket League when we return. Welcome back, everybody. It is again, well, still is, I guess again, I don't know what to properly say, besides the fact that it's Tuesday, but no, it is grand final day. That's what's more important, as we entered with 4 teams, and now there are only 3, and after our next best of 7 series, we're going to be going down to 2. As we take a look at our schedule thus far, we just saw the SEC Wolfpack punch a ticket to that grand final by beating the Grace Gamers Elite 4-1, and now it's going to be Forest Lake Lions and JPC Esports Eagles taking it to the field. Lions versus Eagles. I feel like if we're going by animal-based teams, these two probably would be bitter rivals, so it only makes sense that they're going to be going at the pitch right now. Mammals versus birds. Forest Lakes versus JPC. Look, when I look at this matchup, I think Forest Lakes is going to have the power. I think JBC is going to have that car and flight control. We'll see if that carries over onto the pitch itself. I'm going to be excited to see, as we will be going to the field shortly. As soon as the players are ready, we will be kicking that one off. But again, the big thing that I'm going to be looking for these two right now is I'm going to be comparing each of them, I suppose, to what we saw from the Wolfpack. Because the Wolfpack right now kind of are that premier team. I did peg them at the start to probably take everything. I'm a little bit worried for Forest Lakes in this matchup. If I were to make a prediction, I probably would be saying the John Paul College Esports Eagles. We'll see if this prediction is going to be right, though. Opening pressure is coming from the Forest Lakes side. It's off the post not once, not twice, not 3 times. And then the fourth shot gets pushed wide. Lush unable to get through. As we take a quick look at each of these teams' lineups for the Forest Lakes side, you have Hey Alexel, you got Dishonored AU, and you have Lush. Meanwhile, for the side of the Eagles, it is Promicon, Crosshair, as well as Flash Flame 3. Or Flash Flame, actually. There's no 3. The 3 is the E. Elite Speak. There was a time when I was fluent in it, but now I am old. Either way, Hey Alexel. Actually going to watch that ball sail over their head for the time being. As we see a cross-up across the field. Crosshair. Actually going to go for a bit of an aerial play. Keeps the ball held up high. Ball off that backboard. Do we see the shot? Yes, we do. Post! No! Flash Flame puts it a little bit high, and you'd have to think that's, evening it out, I suppose. Both teams had open nets. Each team now has posted off of those open nets. So, even playing ground 0-0 game, game 1. I'd like to remind everyone, too, that this is not a best of 5, but a best of 7, and Dishonored is going to strike first. Forest Lakes out in front 1-0 as we catch this one again. Just able to find Lush through the corner, and I want to give more credit to Lush in actually being able to make that read and putting the ball just far out enough for that follow through. As I'm going to draw a little bit of attention to a admin perhaps at the chat, as there could be some technical difficulties actually on the John Paul Eagles side. Don't really know if that's going to be available, though, as teammates bump into each other on the attacking side. Forest Lakes, they're looking for their goal right now. Flash Flame tries to play it through that corner, now looking to fall back as the ball continues to sail through the sky. Promicon actually going to push it back over to Crosshair, who crosses up the pitch. Now we see another play being set up. It's another cross-pitch shot, but this time it's going to be saved by Dishonored. We see at the moment, hey, it's Alexel. Puts one up. Flash Flame goes for the intercept, but doesn't make contact. And now Lush will be the one who will play up and forward into that corner. Going to try and go for a reset, actually. Found the reset, and then Dishonored. No! Dishonored, your teammate, was getting a highlight. Had the clip ready, was saying, yo, check out this freestyle play, Overt, get me on your team. And then the teammate gets in the way. No freestyle plays for now. It's all business, perhaps, for the sake of the Lions, who are looking to extend that lead. Well, at the moment, they're actually going to be looking to defend their lead because they're on that back foot. Eagles with a chance. It's a swing and a miss. So Lush will bang it through the middle of the pitch. Finds that next setup off of that backboard. Thrown back over to Lush as well. Oh my goodness. I love watching Forest Lakes when they get on the attack right now. We're seeing some very dynamic angles and some very exciting plays out of this blue side. So it's looking super sweet at the moment. As we see Lush again from underneath, putting pressure off that backboard. Dishonored has a chance. Throws it up to Lush. Puts up that lobber, but the third member was already rotating back for the side of Forest Lakes. Hey, Hey Alexel, or Hey Alexel, didn't see the angle before, saw the shot now, but couldn't quite put it there. As, yeah, Crosshair, I think the player who could have been experiencing some of those technical difficulties, now with full boost, looking to get back involved. but kind of burnt a lot of that boost straight away, so kind of awkward. You see Lush, that's not the touch they were looking for, but at the end of it all, Promicon able to clear it to safety. Still 90 seconds left in our opener. Promicon a chance to try to equalize it, loses out to that challenge from Lush, and no follow-up, and I'm very surprised with how far back, actually, JPC has been playing consistently throughout this. The Eagles, a more passive game in this one, so we'll see if that has to do with some of the tech issues the team is experiencing, or if it could be just their play style in general. I'm being told it is a tech issue happening on the side of the Eagles right now, and Lush is going to add to the lead, so very unfortunate situation. I can't tell you which player it is. I'm not too aware, so, and all we need to know is that one of the players right now on that Eagles side, I'd like to think of it as, you know, an engine issue. Like, let's assume it's the gearbox of one of the cars is just not working, and as a result, I say that it's more likely what's going to happen at this stage. I do feel like this game will probably come to its end, and then we'll be looking to sort of possibly take a break while we wait to see if the tech issue can be fixed and then continue on from there, as there are only 43 seconds left in this game, and Forest Lakes have done quite well to earn themselves that 2-0 victory. So if they do hold on, mind you, still 35 seconds, could see something go down. Alexel out of the box, tries to create some space. Dishonored now, tries to play as much defense as possible. Can only go so far with it. Lush now going to chase it up along that side wall, looking to stick with the play. A bit of a dribbler. Finds its way towards the net, takes that boost. As we see Dishonored again applying pressure, looking for that pass back across the middle. Here comes Lush, shot, goal, 3-0 lead. Forest Lakes just adding to that advantage they already have. As you can see, straight down the middle. Crosshair has already gone to restart the computer. So, yeah, I'm going to call it a gearbox issue. Going to go get that replaced and then get the car back out on the track, hopefully for the second lap or second match, I suppose, in this series. Game number 1 going to go in favor of the Forest Lakes side. They're going to win this one 3-0 as the clock is about to hit 0. Ball touches the ground. Forest Lakes in control. Interesting opener, though. We're going to hope that these tech issues for Crosshair is able to get fixed, because if the Esports Eagles have to play a 2v3, their chances of advancing to that grand final is going to become that much more difficult. We are going to have a bit of time before the next game as we wait and see what is going to go down. We might throw it to a quick break while we get these issues sorted out and figure out where we're going to be at. Looking for confirmation, yes or no. Yep, we will be doing just that, so stay with us. It shouldn't be too long. We'll be back with our second game in just a few moments.
I'm so sad if I show my feelings for you. Need to know what you're feeling, know what you're feeling. I'm so scared if I show my feelings for you. Can you feel me?
Welcome back, everybody, to our Queensland State Championships here. It's HSL at XP, live at TGG. And, well, some interesting news and developments in between that game. We had a look back and we saw there were some technical difficulties that were affecting players on the side of JPC from the start of the game. They called for a remake kind of right at the start of the game, and as a result, we're going to be starting this series over. That is the word from the admins, and that's what we're going to be doing moving forward in this one. So the opening results from Forest Lakes, despite looking very good, will not stand. We're going to be starting this series again from scratch. So, hey, that means more Rocket League for us. Not the worst case situation in the world from a spectator. For the players, I imagine it's going to be a little bit frustrating on both sides, but this is the nature of online tournaments. Sometimes these things happen, we soldier through, and we get right back into the action. Speaking of which, players are jumping back onto the pitch as we speak. We're going to be continuing on. It is now game number 1. Once more, our semifinals, once again kicking off this best of 7. So, I guess we'll consider that a scrim game, if nothing else, is a way to call it. The remaking from the very, very beginning. It is going to be a quick shot as well, coming from Flash Flame to open things up. And you'd have to think both these teams are going to be twice as motivated in this one. If you're Forest Lakes, you're thinking, we already got one win on these guys. We should be able to do it again. We should be able to keep that momentum. If you're on the JPC side, you're probably thinking, now everyone's running at 100%. Now we're at full strength. We should be able to put up much more of a fight than what we saw in game number 1. That's it. Opening shot coming from Lush, saved by Crosshair. And already we're seeing the impact from the player who had those difficulties before. As we see some action in the middle of the field right now. Flash Flame unable to make that touch. Lush, however, his ball's off the post and then in off Lush on that second touch. Stays with it. Forest Lakes, they take the lead and they have not missed a step. As we see that one again. Oh, technically a double touch by the slimmest of technicalities right there. We count those. I count those. I want to allow it. So we're going to give Lush double touch credit right there. Twitch chat, if you disagree with me, don't worry, I can see you. You can try to prove me wrong. I'm willing to take that argument. That's a hill I'll die on. As we see Lush go again, looking for another play off that backboard. This time not going to be able to find it. But we are seeing Forest Lake actually commit 2 and a third member for the ball. Alexa cheating past the middle of the field. That opens the middle right back up. And Promicon's going to tie the game. First goal scored for JPC. And it comes off the counterattack. And you kind of saw it happening. Forest Lakes, they double commit up into the corner, and their third player was playing super far up the field. That means the center wide open, and whenever the center is open and there's a counterattacking opportunity, it's going to go straight down that middle, and it's going to be a goal. So we got ourselves a little bit of a battle right here, and I like what I'm seeing, and this is going to sound a little depressing perhaps, but I might need to temper a little bit. We might need to calm things down, because if these two teams are going to be evenly matched game number 1, we could be seeing a longer series, or we're going to be seeing an own goal. One of the two. take your pick. We've already gotten one own goal this stream, and this one not nearly as egregious as what we saw before, as we see right here. It's just as funny because that's a proper flick from Promicon straight into the middle of the net. Was trying to flick it up high off that top crossbar, looking to bounce it back in the center. So a bit of an unforced error at the same time, but it came from the attacking pressure. So I want to give more credit to the Forest Lake Lions for that one. A 2-1 lead in favor of this blue side. As we see Alexel looking to challenge the middle of the field right now. Crosshair looking to drive it all the way towards that net, but is unable to get the goal. We see off that sidewall, Lush now looking to follow it up. Drew, they center it, not quite. Let's see what happens from underneath. Alexel looking to find Dishonored. He doesn't find that touch quite yet. Ball across again, that middle of the pitch. Lush will collect. Find 1, 2 taps. Now from underneath, looking for that third. Ball up off that backboard. Here comes Dishonored. No open net miss, Dishonored. Couldn't quite hit it straight, and that's a goal left on the scoreboard right there. So disappointing, perhaps, for the Forest Lake Lions. They fortunately don't give up the counterattacking play straight away, although now Crosshair is going to be on the attacking half. Alexel makes a nice backboard read. Those are the little plays that can sometimes build up and come back to haunt you. And again, I'm trying to keep myself calm. It's a long series. It's a best of 7. We're only at the start, but some of these plays and some of these opportunities already kind of has people at the edge of their seat, I would have to imagine. Still 2 minutes to go in this one, and the JPC Esports Eagles, they're looking for that equalizer. They might get it here. Promicon doesn't jump for the play. Instead tries to slow it down. Went for the fake. Doesn't find it. Crosshair now speeds it up. Catches out a defender off balance. That was Alexel. And now we got a tie ball game with 2 minutes to go. As we watch this one, Crosserer just crosses up Alexi right there. Are those I's or L's? I'm going to need confirmation on that. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Hey Alexa. I believe that's what they're going for, but it could be Alexi. It could be Alexel. But I think it's Alexa. And I think we're going to stay with Alexa moving forward. Under 2 minutes left. A lot of time. A lot of time on this clock. And we could see 1 or 2 more goals still in this game as Alexa tries to create some space. Actually gets bumped around, and that will open the doorway for Lush to put one up off that backward. Dishonored from underneath. Doesn't have the read this time. Cross error. Now looking to set themselves up. Ball off the backboard. Shot from Promicon. Not quite on target. As we see Flashflame now in that Octane. Looks to get that touch into the corner, but isn't able to follow it up. Actually decides to retreat instead and might have gotten in the way of some of the rotations. The ball fortunately bounces high, and that will allow the separation. I would have actually liked to see Forest Lakes keep it low right then and there and try to cause a bit more defensive confusion. Now we see Lush. Nice second touch, not quite. We do get the demo from Flashflame. And now Alexel actually has an awkward pass back to the middle that nearly gets taken advantage of. Flashflame couldn't quite get the angle on the spike that they were looking for. Final minute in this one, still tied in our opener. Swinging a miss from Alexa. Lush will slow it down, but there's no third defender to wrap around, so we're going to see an attack. Perhaps no, actually, as JPC, they didn't want to push their luck. A little bit surprised by that. 30 seconds remaining in our opening game. Looking like we're going to be going into a overtime situation right now. Promicon, though, is going to try to end it in regulation. Can't get it past the first defender, but demos the second. That's Lush who's taken out. And that could be very, very scary. Pass back across the middle. Shot! It's going to be saved once more. 2 defenders were in the box right there. We needed to see a bit of height as we watch Alexel go for the pre-flip. Doesn't quite make contact. Going back up the other way. 5 seconds left. And it will be JPC going for that 0-second play. Perhaps, actually, no one wants to do it. Everyone just kind of handshakes and says, you know what? Let's go to overtime. Fair enough. Overtime in our opening game. As I'm saying, this could be a long series. This could be a big one. Best of 7, overtimes in game 1. I hope we're all strapped in, ready to go. Lush, shot off the roof. Ball nearly finds its way into the net, but will be collected by Promicon, who doesn't quite get it to midfield. Now Lush is going to try to play through the corner, as instead it will be Crosserer, who crosses it up the field. Alexa, awkward position. The ball is kept up high, but I don't understand why JPC only sends one attacker on some of these plays. They're not really prepared to follow up the setups through the corner. So either attack the net directly or send another player through right now down the center of the field, because it's just not there. right now. They're not setting themselves up for offensive rotations. They're relying so much on that individual playmaking. And yes, it's gotten them a couple goals already, but I don't think it's sustainable. Case in point, Lush puts an end to our first overtime 58 seconds in. As we see that, the backboard pass, and this is the exact difference between the two teams on the attack. Lush is already playing forward before the pass is even, like, hit the backboard, because they're thinking that one step ahead, and that one step gives Forest Lakes that Game 1 victory. For the Eagles, it's going to be back a bit to the drawing board right now. Well played game number 1, though, and if this is the way this series is going to progress with overtimes in our opener, oh boy, we've got a fun one on hand, that is for sure, as we are going to be jumping straight back into the action. No rest for the wicked or the weary. Players want to get straight into it, so let's see what happens right here. It's going to be game number 2 in this best-of-7 series. Forest Lakes, they won the exhibition match, and they took game number 1 as well. Will they be able to continue this winning streak? We see Lush fall back. Actually gets that bit of pressure into the middle of the field right now. Flash Flame, going to need to make a raid, has the boost to do so, decides to push it towards the net. Now that's interesting, because Flash Flame could have put that ball wherever they wanted, decided to push it for the net where the most defenders were. Kind of thinking, going for either a shot with the hope and a prayer or trying to get the defense to move out of position, but again, with that lack of follow-up, by going straight for net, I do think that's the correct play right in and of itself. But then you need to be prepared for the counterattack. And even in that position, JPC was just playing so far back. This team really likes to play that sort of last line defense, it feels like. And we're getting to the stage right now where you can see Dishonored staying back in that third man role now actually gets demoed. And that's going to be a counterattack goal. And this is why JPC is playing so deep, because they're looking for these counterattacking plays, and when they think they have that opening, that's when they're going to send everyone. This one worked because they found the demo, and that was the key moment, because it looked to be that the Forest Lake strategy was to send 2 forward, 1 back, and they were getting those offensive rotations with the 2 forward. But the minute those 2 forward kind of messed up, we finally saw JPC go and make a play, and Lush just put an absolute dime on target. So high ball game once more. As we see this one again, Lush. Touch goes straight into Crosserer, who couldn't quite get it into the corner. Instead, got it off that post and into the net. So, tie ball game. 1 minute into game 2. Still plenty of time on the clock. Plenty of that Rocket League to be had. Lush, swing and a miss. And that's going to be a little bit awkward for Forest Lakes, since now they're going to have to play a bit of defense for Crosserer. Puts another one on target. It's very interesting. I'm very fascinated by JPC. And when I say fascinated, I'm not saying, oh, wow, they're unorthodox, that equals bad. Not at all. This team got to this point for a reason. And what they're doing, while it's throwing me off guard, it obviously works. Now, that's just an individual play. Now, this is the one I understand. Crosserer sees the slow, clear attempt coming from Lush and says, I'm not going to let that TP set up, or if it is, I'm going to take it myself. Finds the redirect off of the post, puts it through. Great play by Crosserer. And that's something to get excited about. And that's why JPC, I know this is not a strong team, but this would be such a frustrating team to play against because of how unconventional their positioning has been, with how far back they are in the moments that they pick to go on the attack. It's very unorthodox, but it's working. As we see again, nearly trying to find that cross-up right there. Now we see them in more traditional positions, and maybe that's why they avoid him. Lush almost got the dunk right there on the Flash Flame. Very fortunate for the side of JPC that shot and setup was a little bit high. So it's not quite going to be in the net just yet, as we see Dishonored. Again, putting one up. Flash Flame may have overcommitted just a little bit right there. Lush now going to follow it through. Crossover as that third member. It's going to try to follow it up, and oh, I like that. That second touch was very cheeky. It looked like Forest Lakes was committing for the midfield boost and ball in the same play, but by keeping it just that little bit too high, it was that tough to read, and then the opening is found. Flash Flame making it 3-1 in favor of JPC. It's an awkward read from Alexa right there. Very awkward read. Very unfortunate for the Forest Lake side, who now find themselves down 2 goals. So a chance for the JPC Eagles to actually tie this series up if they can hold on to this lead through the second half of game number 2, or perhaps even add to it. It's always a good sign when you get 3 goals in the first, 2.5 minutes. Typically, those lead to winning efforts, but what a pass, tee, shot, score coming from the Forest Lake side as we watch this one again. Lush, that dribble near perfect and just hand delivers it right to Alexa, who just needed to hit that ball straight. This time they do, not too high. 2-3 game, back within 1. 2:23 on the clock. Dishonored looking to cross up anyone in the box right now as Crosser will be the one going for that dribble. Actually looking to find a teammate across the middle as well. Not the cleanest pass, so instead Promicon actually goes for the demo. Couldn't quite find out Lush, who will take that boost, take it from the corner. Open net. That's going to be a tie ball game. You cannot leave the net that wide open, and that's why the counterattack strategy from JPC sometimes looks a little iffy to me, because they just committed everyone at a moment when the defense was still set, and they were too slow in finding that demo. And even then, I think you specifically need to demo Lush, because if Lush is given space, Lush is going to score. I think Lush has already established themselves as probably the best player on the pitch right now. Granted, having the best player doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win, and that can change. But throughout our first couple games, Lush has been very standout in my eyes. And every time we see Lush with possession of the ball, with some boost in hand, I think we're going to be seeing some interesting and strong plays coming from the Forest Lake team. If anyone's going to sort of match that, I would have to say actually it could be Crosserer in this one, who has been clutching the pass. I mean, that's a great pass back to Promicon, who just needs to drive it straight themselves to get this. But watch Crosserer right here. Doesn't need the boost, but the moment that he recognized that Lush was going for the boost and not the ball, just cuts off as much as the corner as possible with as much speed as possible in order to try to get that extra step over the defender. That's what enabled the pass, and that's what got the goal. So nice heads-up decision-making coming from Crosserer right there, and it gives the Eagles the lead once more. This is such a fascinating game. As Flash Flame, okay, well, that was probably the most boring goal. No offense. No offense to JBC, but that's just a backboard pass turned into a shot right there, as you can see. That a little bit of an extra touch. Two defenders bite early, and Dishonored can't quite rotate around. So a 2-goal lead with 1:22 to go. The Eagles, prime position to tie this series up. You watch the kickoff right there. Alexel going to follow through the corner. Pass back down to Lush. Has boost, has space, going for the reset. Or was that a musty? I'm not too sure. Could have been the musty reset. I'm not even sure. Lush knew what the game plan was right there, but it almost was impressive. As we do see the play up the other way. 1 minute still to go. Backboard pass. Not quite found. At least not right away. Flash Flame gets the hat trick. And that should be the Eagles taking out game number 2. As we see, Crosserer was the one who escorted it to the backboard, and then Flash Flame just able to drive that one in. I do believe we are going to be looking at a solid 6-3 lead. Here we go. Crosserer from underneath. We see Lush go from corner to corner. Now holds that ball up in the air. Do we see a shot? No. Instead, we're seeing a lot of players falling back on defense, and one whiff, but that's all right. Teammates got the back. Crosserer will keep that ball on the blue side. No need to get too aggressive right now for the side of JPC. They're content to play 3 members back, it looks like, until, well, they almost all advance this 3 right there. They're going to advance this 2, keep Flashland back as that 3rd member, and even behind them, Crosserer did rotate all the way back as Flash Flame finds another goal. 7-3 right now. We watch this one again. Yeah, nothing Dishonored could have realistically done unless they were willing to pre-jump that shot. Hit far too hard. A great goal from JBC. 17 seconds left. They're going to be tying up this series at 1 apiece, and we got a proper one on our hands. I'm actually surprised that JBC won this strongly. I'm not surprised that JBC won at all. I do feel like this series has that potential to go to 7. And even though Lush might be looking like the best player on the pitch right now, when JPC do sort of pull their defenders and attack, I think they actually are quite dynamic and quite dangerous on that attack. They're really good at playing through the corner when they commit to it. So I just want to see JPC commit more to those corners, commit more to those plays, And I think they're going to find more success. And we started to see them do that during the second half of the game. And that's when they started running up the score. So hopefully that is a trend that they'd look to continue. Because if they do, they can absolutely take this series over. And meanwhile, for the side of Forest Lakes, perhaps they need to be a bit, adaptable as well. They're not playing against that passive team we saw at the start. They're now playing against a JPC team that's actually starting to take the fight to them and playing a lot further forward. So just keeping that in mind when they commit for plays that you might need to rotate back quickly if you misstep. As we are kicking off our third game, nearly a quick goal for Promicon. Not quite in on his mark. Promicon goes for the redirect and again can't quite put it in. 2 near goals to open up our third game. It's unfortunate that they weren't able to quiet it just yet. As Lush puts a shot on, follow up by Alexa, but again, Alexa just too slow to that play. Unfortunate for the side of Forest Lakes. Still in possession of the ball, though, as Lush is able to take it straight over the middle. Dishonored, as well as Alexa double commit. Ball off that backboard. Lush does get a touch, but Alexa was rotating back. Now has to use that boost to drive it forward. Gets that setup back across the middle. Yet, kind of crossing up their own team, actually, with that pass. Dishonored stuck out of position. Leads to a double commit as Lush had to cross up the field again. Stays with the play. Gets the goal. 1-0 lead for Forest Lake. We watch that again. Lush able to stick with that, get the ball into the net. Very well played by Lush right now. 1-0 lead for Forest Lake as they continue to hope to get themselves into our state grand final. Another shot by Alexa will be a little bit late as the defense had recovered after that kickoff. 1, 2, 3. 3 whiffles right there. Gonna need to clean that up moving forward, and still will be Alexa who's going to look for that waterfall setup. Dishonor not even needed. Hold up. Did that waterfall into the net? Hold up. We're watching this again. I am watching this intently. No, it was Crosserer who got the touch. Oh, that's a very awkward goal right there. Crosserer. I'm not even sure how that angle happened, but that is a massive 2-goal advantage right now for the side of Forest Lake. Again, a bit of redemption. We saw this actually last time Crosserer made a big unforced error. They got redemption immediately after, and, well, they'll do it for a second time right now. So that's really good to see. Just cheated forward, takes advantage of Dishonored actually making a small mistake, and able to bring them back within 1. So, 2-1 scoreline. Best of 7, sitting on 1 apiece, so technically best of 5. It's as if the proper Rocket League series now is starting. So we had 3 exhibition games, and now we have a tied Game 3 as Flash Flame got a 4-goal showing in game number 2. Gets their first of this one. Just absolutely drives that one through. Off the defender, yes. 97 kilometers per hour still. That was hit so hard. We kick off our next one. Alexa, going to go ahead and pop one up. And now a trend that I've noticed actually for the past few plays and moments is, that got a little awkward. But yeah, back to what I was trying to say. A trend that I'm starting to pick up on, which is very concerning, I feel, for the side of the Forest Lake, is that whenever we're seeing these sort of dead balls or slower moving balls, at the start, it was constantly Forest Lakes getting to it first. But that has shifted. And I would argue that the Eagles now are kind of the more aggressive and faster-paced team. Even when they gave up those 2 early goals, I still would kind of be saying that in those circumstances as well. So the Eagles have done a great job in sort of taking the tempo back in their favor and really starting to dictate the pace of this game. And they've been getting stronger and stronger at it as we've been moving on. This is a great little setup from the corner right there from Crosserer. As you can see, Flash Flame was already there to challenge Lush, but, well, this time they can't stick with it. Across the middle, though, Promicon will put another one up, stays with that play, back across the middle, 1, 2, 3, whiffs again, as the 4th member is able to drive it through, or the 4th player, I should say, still. These whiffles are contagious. They're not a good thing to have. They're important to check out there, so go see your local Rocket League coach, diagnosed. So whoever has that doctorate in Rocket League coaching can subscribe to you a subscription to probably more coaching to help cure those whiffles that these teams occasionally suffer from. I don't know where I'm going with that joke. We're gonna abandon that ship for now. I said ship. I said ship. As we see Lush from underneath. It's a bit of a touch right there. Ball will go corner to corner. Crosser gets a light touch. As we see underneath, Pramikon actually challenges a bit as well. Cross we go into that corner. Here comes Dishonored. As we see, Ham Alexa put the pressure on, but cannot quite get in that net just yet. This has gotten a lot more tense all of a sudden. We haven't seen a proper shot on target for a solid minute and a half right now. The defense from JPC doing so well to hold Forest Lakes back, but how long can they do it until they eventually have to try to force an issue? Well, we're seeing it right now. Bumps, stopping the rotation, stayed down the middle. It's caught by Lush as Pramikon was almost able to find that counterattack, so we go back the other way. Crosserer has to keep it in the middle, couldn't quite get to the corner, but a double commit coming from Forest Lakes might not be helping their cause. Crosserer, again off that backboard, where Lush will take it off them. Pinch, centers it out, where Alexa's waiting, shot, goal, and that's Forest Lake taking a late lead in this one with only 45 seconds left to play. I feel like Alavine called that right before it happened. Shout out to Alavine and chat right there. Trust that, Alex. Well, Alexa does get it through. The trust was there, and Forest Lakes now have the lead. 42 seconds on the clock. Dishonored, swing, miss, pass, Crosserer gets another shot on. Isn't able to put it in just yet. Pramikon still going to play through that corner as well. Double commit by the defense. Might have opened up the middle, but they got enough power behind it to keep the ball in a safe spot. And once again, JPC, they're keeping all three of their members on that backboard. They're going to be looking for these extended counterattacking plays, and it might work. Crosserer with a late flick gets it over the top and ties the game. 18 seconds still to go. Oh my goodness, you thought Forest Lakes was going to be able to hold on, but Crosserer just crossing up yet again. I have rarely seen a more aptly named player right there. As we see the Eagles tie us up, 18 seconds. I'd consider this overtime right now, kind of like a preemptive overtime, because the next goal is going to win this one. And it's Crosserer on the attack, gets it up and above Lush. Ball through that backboard, Lush trying to keep it held into the corner. Or we see Flash Flame have a peek, have a sniff, but unable to drive it in just yet. Now we'll watch Lush clear it across that middle of the field. Ball hits the ground, and we go to overtime. All right. Game number 3, just like game number 1. Going to an overtime situation. All going to slowly roll. Of course, that orange net. Alexa tries to sweep underneath. But doesn't get the touch they were looking for. Ball awkwardly middle of the pitch. Crosserer gets there first, but couldn't quite hit it straight. There were no defenders behind Alexa right there. That could have been a disaster for Forest Lakes, and it could have been massive for the Eagles. Instead, the Eagles still with possession as Crosserer actually is able to find that touch, looking to go for the solo play, finds the next one, but Lush keeps it held up high as a Rule 1 in the net in overtime, and you know the players are going to stick with it. And no, it got broken up. Oh, someone broke it up. It looked like it was a Forest Lake member broke it up. I was about to have the most respect I have had for players in a long time had they held a Rule 1 in overtime in a semifinal. Instead, we play it through as Pramikon actually going to look for something right there. Ball water falls in, and Crosserer is there. And I'm not going to call it karma for breaking the Rule 1, but it's not lost on me that the team that was more committed to sticking to it is the team that scores the game-winning goal. The Eagles advance to 2-1 on this series with that goal right there. This series is going to get to me. I can tell already. We got a good one on our hands right now. 2 overtimes in 3 games. Back and forth we go. And if logic will dictate the pace of this one, you'd have to think the Eagles are going to slip up, and then we're going to tie up our series as Forest Lakes might win this next match. However, I just go back to the sudden swap to that aggressive play style that we're getting out of this Eagles team that we are lacking before. And the turnaround is amazing. When we see the Eagles keep 3 defenders back, they struggle. But once they start to play aggressive, once they start to play forward, that's where they're finding their success. And this is interesting to me because I almost feel like it's a symptom of trying to play a bit higher elo of a game than perhaps what this current one will dictate. Maybe higher elo isn't the right word, but you have to play against your opponents at that same extent as well. Like, you can try to do what is considered the correct style of play. But if your opponents are capitalizing on it, then go ahead and mix it up. And as soon as the Eagles have been starting to mix it up, they've been successful in those endeavors. As we cut to 4:50 now on the clock, that's right, we are back onto the pitch for game number 4. Shot being taken by Promicon. Goes for the solo play. We're going to play let's count. Let's have a counting lesson. How many times has Promicon touched this? 1, 2, and then recovery, bumping it back off a defender and in. All right, so it was only a couple touches, but to hit the ball off the backboard into the defender and force the own goal, well, that's pretty special in and of its own right. Very well done. As the kickoff's going to be another goal for Crosser. 2 quick goals. What more is there to say? Kickoff goals are kickoff goals. And now, that's going to be JPC. Pardon me. Pardon me. There we go. Something in my throat right there, but we're all good. Yeah, that's going to be JPC up now 2-0 in this game, looking to take themselves to match point as Dishonor tries to actually find the pass off the post. A very risky touch, but does pay off. Lush unable to drive it across the middle. And I'm curious. I am super curious how JPC is actually going to approach this next match. Because we've seen the Eagles be even, and in close games, they do play well because they have like a reason to continue to be on the more of aggressive side. But with a 2-goal lead, I really hope that they don't kind of fall back to that sort of 3-defender back style in an effort to conserve their lead. If anything, I want to see them almost get more aggressive and really just try to stick it to the Forest Lake side. If you're Forest Lake right now, though, it is vital that you get the next goal, and why not try to leave it up to Lush, your playmaker, to make the play happen. Dishonored on the follow-through. Will be stopped by Crosserer. They had a chance. Lush again is going to have another look at it, but won't be able to stick with the play straight away. In fact, will be... No! I was about to say looking for the pass from Dishonored, but Dishonored with a bit of a swing and a miss now opens the doorway. Crosserer, late flick, and a miss as well. And another missed opportunity from both these teams realistically to put another point on. So the 2 quick goals are only 2 goals so far in game number 4, which is really good for the Eagles. Again, if they can hold on to this lead, they will putting themselves to match point and a chance perhaps to take on the St. Edmunds College Wolfpack. That is the team that's waiting. That is the team you have to beat if you want those H3 Onyx Black headsets. That's where you got to go right now. We see a bit of that backboard pressure being set up. Crosserer actually going to cross up that field until they leave a meatball, and that they're not even going to commit for because Dishonored just swung and missed, and Alexo had already cheated forward. Fortunately, Lutz able to make the save. That was a scary situation for Forest Lake, and they cannot afford to be making those kind of mistakes. Not when you're down 2-0. Not when you could be potentially falling down to match point unless you turn your momentum around. They need to find ways to get some sustained offense going because we just haven't seen it in so long. The cross-up from Flash Flame. He finds its way into the net. I feel like Flash Flame is a player that I've also been doing a little bit of a disservice on, not talking enough about just yet in this matchup, but has been a major striker, actually, for the side of good old, say, JPC. Just because, like, typically I've noticed has been more of the second member and just been kind of cleaning up when Crosserer hasn't been able to put one through. But there is an art to that, being in that right place at the right time, and really I've been impressed with Flashpoint's game sense, giving them goals, unlike players like Promicon, who will go for the mech plays to get goals, as we watch this yet again, just a dribbler right over and then underneath. Hey, Alexa, 3-0 lead right now for the team looking to get their 3rd win in this series. JPC. Absolute control right now. Make it 4 as Crosserer just able to get the redirect off the backboard, spiking it in. No defender in sight as it was a pretty heavy commit off that kickoff. Yeah, the triple commit off the kickoff. Not all necessarily at the ball, but everyone was cheating forward in some capacity. No one back to defend. And I can't blame Forest Lake for that, but when you're down now 4-0, it's going to hurt. It was a high-risk, high-reward type play, and Forest Lake got burned in the situation. So, as we approach our final 100 seconds, a 4-goal differential, getting a little bit comfier now because it is looking like we are going to be seeing a solid victory in favor of the Eagles in this next one. It will be moving them to match point most likely. And from there, if they can, they can do it. They honestly looks like they can do it. We saw those early tech issues and we were worried, and now it's Forest Lake possibly falling to the precipice of defeat right now. We do see another setup coming up from Promcom. Looking to find Crosserer on the cross ball in front of the net. No one actually there to tap it in, and maybe had the scoreline been a little bit closer, we would have been seeing a more aggressive JPC side trying to muscle that one through. Not in this situation, though. No point in going too aggressive when all you need to do is hold on for another 48 seconds. Still, when opportunities present themselves, I would call Flash Flame the ultimate opportunist in this game, channeling a little bit of Randy Orton and scoring that goal with the Rocket League equivalent of the RKO and out of nowhere. 5-0 lead right now for JPC. Those Esports Eagles are flying their way over to match point. Now, still got to win one more. And I will say this, the scoreline I don't think is entirely reflective of how much, the Eagles have had to fight to keep this game and for a lot of their goals. So I would be a little uncomfortable to just straight up say the Eagles are going to just roll the next game quite like they've rolled this one and march their way to that grand final appearance. However, again, you're going to ask a team that's been struggling to get any points on the board in this fourth game to now win 3 games in a row to get to that grand final. Forest Lakes, they've got such a tough road ahead for them. And I'm looking at players like Lush right now who were stand out, near transcendent in terms of the impact that they were having for the team in those first couple games. Hasn't been able to have that same impact since. And as, the player that's been looking like the most veteran on the pitch, I'm going to be looking at players like Transcendent to players like Lush to step up and try and bring it back. I want them to be transcendent. That's what I'm trying to say, as we are soon going to be on our way to our 5th and potential final game in this series. We've just got a tough one to be had. If JPC wins this, they go to that grand final, and I cannot emphasize this enough because even if JPC wins this, they still got the Wolfpack waiting. That Wolfpack, licking their wolfy chops, ready to take a bite out of whoever wins this series in that grand final match, because I've said it before and I'm going to stick with this one. The Wolfpack still my pick to most likely win out today. They looked like such a strong, cohesive unit. Arguably, though, you can say the same thing about the Esports Eagles from what we've seen from them thus far, as we're just going to be waiting for the last little ready up, and then we'll be able to get ourselves back onto the pitch and back into the action. Twitch chat, I have to ask you right now, though, do you believe the Eagles are going to take this one? Do you think they're going to be able to follow through? I know they've got a fair bit of fanfare on the Forest Lakes side. Perhaps Forest Lakes are going to make that comeback as well. I have a feeling that's what most of you are going to be sort of expecting, or at least rooting for, just based on the vibe. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Could be seeing those Eagle fans start to step it up as well in that Twitch chat. Either way, want you to get involved, want you to cheer for your school, your team, your friends, because they're going to need it right now more than ever. We're going to be kicking off game number 5. JPC, 1 win away from that grand final appearance in the state championship. Here we go. Kickoff. It's a bit of a lagger right there. And again, JPC on these dribble plays have been that faster team. They get the initial offensive pressure. Flash Flame gets the dunk across the middle as well. Good touch by Crosserer, again crossing up in front of the net. The follow-up's not immediately there for a quick goal. In fact, it's going the other way until Crosserer does rotate themselves back and clear it forward. Touches it to the backboard from underneath, though. Really well played by Alexa in order to keep the momentum now going in favor of the Forest Lakes side. Back and forth we go. Shot, target, goal, Alexa. Going to get the first goal in this one. A 1-0 lead for Forest Lake. As we see, Crosserer was trying to find that pass over to Promicon, but just put a little bit too much behind it, pushed the ball a little bit too far forward, and that allowed Alexa the ability to capitalize on it, which is good to see because we haven't seen Alexa look for those types of plays since Game 2, actually. Maybe even Game 1, now that I think about it. It's been a roughie in those recent past couple games for Forest Lakes, yet if they're finding themselves now, well, it would be one of the more opportune times to do it. They don't get another chance if they lose this one outright. So they're going to need to try to keep this momentum going still, though, on the attack. Flash Flame looking to play off that backboard, goes for the second touch. Read by Dishonored, as Crosserer now is going to have a crack at it as well. Trying to play through the corner on repeat. It does look as if the defense from this blue side has put themselves in a better spot to be able to defend some of those corner plays. Promising sign moving forward, perhaps, as JPC has relied on the corner to either find, backboard passes or the occasional individual play to find those goals that they've accrued for themselves in the past games. Can't say they've done any in this game, and in fact, we're already getting our second from Dishonored. That's now going to be a 2-0 lead. As we watch this one again, the ball just kind of water fell right in front of Dishonored, who followed through on the setup. They hesitated a bit, but the hesitation also paid off in their favor, so can't be too critical of that. 2-0 lead. So we see Forest Lake now on the back foot. Looking to hold on to this one. Take us to that game number 6. Lush goes for a late reset. Oh! All right. I see you, Lush. Look, there's a reason why I've been calling this player kind of the best as we watch this again. It wasn't quite a reset we were thinking of. It was just a late ceiling flick. However, just got all of that one, driving it home. A 3-point lead now. And where was this Forest Lake for the past couple games? Because they're eventually able to capitalize on some of the more aggressive positioning we've been seeing out of JPC. It took them a couple games to do so. But if you're going to make it happen, why not then you wait till your back is against the wall to start making these types of plays? Their offensive pressure is going to be coming from the Eagles. They're not giving up on this game just yet. Ball on that backboard will be collected and pushed to safety for now. Lush, again, looking to throw it down to someone. Does find a teammate in traffic. That might open up the doorway for this blue side. Ball still in the corner for now. As we see Crosserer continue to kind of play with the ball for a brief couple moments before it does get launched away from them. Now going up, trying to find the touch, but doesn't get all or any of it. Lush as well, going to throw it back to that other side. Now off the corridor, doesn't go too far. Flash Flame chasing the play up. It's going to allow it to drop in front of the net, where it's not taken advantage of. And we've seen this a few times, particularly whichever team happens to be falling behind. They have situations where they can be that aggressive team, but the hesitation has kind of been the Achilles heel of each squad. I would decisively say that in game number 5, Forest Lake has just been more willing to make plays. Case in point, they do it again as we see Dishonored put another goal through. 4-0 lead in game number 5 as we're getting ever closer towards, a game 6 scenario. And I was saying, winning 3 in a row, it's always a difficult ask in Rocket League, but if you can build momentum off of situations like this, well, anything is possible. Crosserer was looking for that top left bin, not quite going to find it right there. That's very, very unfortunate. Also, hello, chat, by the way. I can see you guys again. Good to catch you. How you doing? 70 of you. That is a massive number of high school Rocket League fans. Absolutely love to see it. 1:45 on the clock. Probably excited that we get to see more of this semifinal action, perhaps, as we see Crosserer now taking it across that midfield. Dishonored slowing it down. Lush with the chance goes for the double. Instead keeps it up high. Dishonored went for the slow play, kind of faked themselves out. And that leads to a cross play from Crosserer. All right. We're not done yet. We are not done yet. And this is pretty critical right now. If we can see another goal come from the JPC side in the next 30 seconds or so, I think the comeback is well and truly in the books. We know the side can be explosive, and they got that goal off that counterattack. What I'm worried might happen right now is Forest Lakes, they see that goal scored against them, they start to play defensively, and then they get punished for it because it will allow the Eagles to stay on the attack, where they have looked the most dangerous. They have been very dynamic when attacking. However, well, that doesn't look to be the case. It is a promising sign for the Lions that they were able to find a quick clear, but now on that back foot once more, another shot coming from Flame. Flash Flame, unable to find it. Tried to stay deep, doesn't get the redirect. Now a double commit on the attack. Crosserer needs to find that second touch. Recognize the double commit, so slows the pace down. Someone needs to follow it through, though. And Lush wound up getting to the play first. That ball was way too slow in front of the net as Crosserer gets thrown off by the top of the cage. And that's probably going to do it for game number 5. It's going to be going in favor of the Forest Lake team. And they're going to be advancing themselves even further. As we see Crosserer kind of been out for a little bit. Still, ball does waterfall back down once more in front of the net. A chance to add to the lead. Not going to find it. Flash Flame waiting mid-pitch for an opportunity, but instead of attacking the ball, started to turn and go the other way. And then when they had the challenge, they miss it entirely. That's definitely going to do game number 5 done and dusted. It's going to be going in favor of the Forest Lakes, who haven't won a game since game number 1. So they dropped essentially 3 in a row. Crosserer is going to go ahead and make it 4-2, though, to make that scoreline look a little bit closer than perhaps this game actually was. But yeah, Forest Lake win the first one, lose 3, and are now breathing a sigh of relief that it's okay, though. because this still is essentially a best of 7, not a best of 5. We're still in this match. All we're going to have to do is win 2 more, unless this kickoff goes disastrously for them. Need a score within the time frame, though you can't let it go to 0 seconds as the clock hits 0 seconds. So that's going to do it for this game. Forest Lake Lion. Go ahead, win this one out. Lions, I should say. Now sitting very comfortably back in this series. For JPC, though, they were able to get a couple of those late goals, which does sort of tell us that it's all right for them. They're still going to be competitive. They can still, put the points on when they have to. If they got shut out, I would be more concerned for the JPC side. And I still feel like they're in position that they can win the series. And it goes back to what I was saying before coming into this one, where I'm like, okay, JPC's looking good. I don't think they look, win 4 in a row good. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Forest Lake takes one more. They took one more. But now if I were to make a bold prediction, and I love making bold predictions, I feel like this next game may be the last one. The Eagles were getting that momentum back towards the tail end of that game. I think that's something that they're going to build off, carry off of, and look to punch their ticket right now here in game number 6. If they don't, well, then we go to game 7, and who knows what happens there. Real quick, this is the trophy. This is what we're playing for, a chance to win that bad boy as we're kicking off game number 6 right now. Lions looking for a chance to take us to that game 7. Try to score off the kickoff, but Dishonored unable to make contact with the ball. So back and forth we go. In fact, well, all the way back to the JPC defensive path and defensive backboard. And now we're seeing shots. No shots, just a lot of whiffs. And that's going to open the doorway straight down the middle. Good touch by Alexa. Is able to put it into the post. That almost was very, very distressing for the Forest Lake side. Super late recovery, but it was one that they were desperate for. Pretty sure the team that scored first has won every single game thus far in this series. Some food for thought of how vital this first goal might actually become. Lush in the corner looking for that pass back. Only going to go so far with it as Dishonored. Going to keep that ball sort of juggled around in the corner, at least for now. Still 4 minutes on the clock. Shot target saved by the defense as they sort of wait to create more pressure. But they're just being pinned down right now, and that eventually breaks. And Hey Alexa takes the 1-goal lead in favor of Forest Lake. Interesting. So, I said before, JPC, sometimes they struggle when they're kind of kept on that back foot for so long when they're playing 3 defenders back, and it's when they get aggressive we see success. Throughout the entirety of that attack, it felt like all 3 defenders were playing off that backboard, and that gives the confidence back over to Forest Lake to be that more aggressive team. We're seeing JPC sort of regrets in their play style, and it's not really the opportune moment to do it. So, I think my level of concern is actually rising for the orange side right now. Lush might have a bit of a breakaway as well. We'll be able to play that one off the corner, looking to connect to someone, looking to connect to anyone, not quite able to find quite that defensive pass that they would have liked. Still with possession of the ball, at least briefly. Flash Flame actually opting to try and take that away. Force a meatball across the middle where that's going to be straight, but it's not on target. Off the post, leads to an awkward bounce. And Promicon's going to be a little bit frustrated with that because that net was open and that equalizer was so needed by this JPC side who haven't had a lead in nearly a game and a half. Now Lush going to follow up the setup with the pass back. And now we're looking at a 2-0 lead. Alexa, I should say, my apologies, to both of the goals thus far in this game. And it's been coming off of, or rather against, a team that is stuck in mid-rotation in each of those occasions. So where we're at right now is a very dangerous spot because momentum, I think, has officially flipped. And we are back in Forest Lake's control. Still half of game to play, so plenty of time for things to get spicy once more. But we haven't seen JPC really be competitive in a while. It looked like they were getting the momentum back at the end of our last game. Don't get me wrong. Things were starting to look good for them. But again, I go back to the power of some of the opening goals that we've been seeing thus far in the series and how that's been sort of dictating the tempo setters of each game. And now we're looking at a 3-0 scoreline as Lush puts in yet another. And Forest Lake, they could be doing it. They could be taking us to that game 7. And that is going to be exciting to see for sure. Will they be able to keep this momentum moving forward, though, into that Game 7? So many times I've seen the teams come back, get so close, but sort of drop the ball at the very end, at that finish line. Earlier today, actually, casting in a little bit of North American Rocket League, we saw a near reverse sweep that didn't come through. And, well, not even this game is technically done yet, as Crossover takes advantage of a Forest Lake team trying to push forward. The double commit catches them off balance. Dishonored can't quite make the read, and Crossover all of a sudden right back in this one. So 2-goal, the most dangerous lead in football. We're still within striking distance. Perhaps too quick to announce game number 7, because off the kickoff, Crosser does it again. Oh boy, hold these thoughts. Off of the roof leads to an awkward lead, and Lush just taps it in, and all of a sudden, Forest Lake, they're letting this 3-0 lead slip away. One more goal required to tie it up, and that's an open net. A chance for Promicon, but couldn't quite drive it. Might not matter. Ball still in the box. A massive demo from Alexa keeps Forest Lake in the lead. Promicon goes for the solo play, but can't find that second touch as well. And Forest Lake just survive that attack. My goodness. They are lucky to get out of that one. Granted, the defense is still going to have to keep their wherewithal because the attacks are not quite done yet. Alexa going to go for the solo play across the middle. Beats out the last defender, and once again, it's a 2-goal cushion for the blue side. Oh, man. That right there is why you can never get comfy in a game of Rocket League, because at any moment, momentum can flip on a dime, and it looked like JPC was going to complete that 3-goal comeback, but now, once again, they got to get 2 goals in just 90 seconds. So, pressure is on for our orange side. Are they going to be able to do it? Can they get 3 goals on? Well, they don't have to, at least. At least not yet. As all flash, open net miss. Very, very unfortunate. Promicon. Ooh, pardon me. With possession, tries to find that goal. Oh, my goodness. My voice giving out on me. And we still got a grand final around the corner. We can't have that. Trust me, we'll be fine. Let's see what Crossover is going to be able to do. Going for that musty. Oh, swing and a miss right there. Follow up from Flash. Again, it's a swing and a miss on what could have been a scoring opportunity. And there's been a few of those in this game, let alone this series. No! Another open net, not quite able. Granted, that was a very tough play. The reason why the net was open was because of how dynamic and how technical that attack was. Unable to follow it through. Lush, however, takes it back the other way. And now with a 3-goal lead, we're going to a Game 7, everybody. Forest Lakes have made the comeback happen. They've won 2 in a row. And if they want to go to that grand final, they've got to win 3. JPC Esports Eagles, though, are going to have one more crack at it. And at times, this team does look so good. Crosser, in particular, has been looking stronger and stronger. Yet, coming into this game, I did say I wanted to see more from Lush. We've seen more from Lush. Lush has been able to step it right back up and right back into play. However, it's been Alexa, who I'm going to be honest with this one, was struggling very early on in the series. The first couple games were not nice on Alexa. A fair few unforced errors, a few awkward positioning. But with each game, Alexa has been looking stronger and stronger and was pretty vital in this game number 5 and 6 to help bring Forest Lake back. Momentum very well and truly in favor of this blue side right now as the ball is about to hit the ground now. Forest Lake, 1 game away from winning 3 in a row to bring it back. For JPC, they've got one last chance to put this series and put Forest Lake away. Oh boy, this is going to be a tense one for sure to get into that grand final. And that's where the prizes are. Again, look, I've showed off this trophy a couple times. First place, you win this, but I mean, you got second place as well. You got both of them. So you win this, you get that trophy. You win this, you get yourself a sweet headset brought to you by EPOS as well, our prize sponsor for this event. So a big thank you to them. That is what's on the line so much for each of these teams. As we're going to be jumping right back onto the pitch, it's time for game number 7. Winner gets not only do they get to the finals, but they also get the honor of taking on the St. Edmunds Wolfpack as well. And off of that kickoff straight away, JPC. We're looking for that early goal, not quite going to find it. As we look to settle things down a bit, a little worrying sign actually is it looks like, all right, there we go. Lions are going to be willing to advance. I saw all 3 blue cars on the backboard, and that always has me nervous. Whoa! Where did that demo from Crosser come from? Didn't even see Crosser on the pitch right there. As yes, series point, Iron Age. Series point. Alexa keeps that dribble up, looking to follow it through. Dishonored swings and misses. Crosser actually runs into a bit of traffic. And Flash Flame. Ooh, didn't get all of that, but Crosser was in position to follow through. But there's the bang. Alexa, who has been so good as of late, finds the setup, gets the next touch. It comes off the post. Follow-up shot, no contact made by Dishonored. And that could be a missed opportunity that Forest Lakes, they're going to want to have back. Oh, it's a big miss from Flame again as well. And we've been seeing an increase of unforced errors actually coming from the JPC side. And every time we see those happen, it usually isn't long until Forest Lakes is able to find a goal. Still 0-0 through that first minute. Forest Lakes has had more of the tempo, though, in this first game. As we do go back and forth. Lush actually getting bumped around. Still 3:40 on the clock. Shot from underneath not going to be taken. As we watch, hey, Alexa, now push it back up that other way. Touch from Lush. Gets close to the net, but not quite in it. Bromicon now up to the other side of the field. Ball into the corner. Gets jammed up from underneath. A couple swings, a couple misses. Still 3:22 to play. As we do see that cross up once more. Crosserer. One touch, but no follow through. Instead, it's going to be Lush back towards the middle where Crosserer will clear it back across the center. Dishonored swings and misses. The longest we've gone without an opening goal, and of course it's happening in game number 7. This first goal is going to be so important. Every single time the team that scored first has won in this series. Why not make it a best of 1 first goal wins? Let's have an entire tournament like that. That's the kind of what I feel the attitude is at. As we see Flash Flame try to get the dunk on the Lush, not quite able to find it. Lush actually takes it all the way to the opposite of the pitch where Crosser now is going to throw off Alexa, though. Going for that pass back to the middle. It's Flashlands who goes first, gets the post and in. Flash Flame takes the lead in favor of JPC. As we see that replay once more, Flash Flame just gets all of it off the post. 2 defenders in the box. They thought it was going to come off the backboard right there. So well played. And JPC get a massive lead. Kickoff's going to add to it. Flash Flame does it again. 2 goals in 2 seconds. JPC out in front. Oh my goodness, a disastrous kickoff for Forest Lakes, who now have to fight back in this match. It's going to be so difficult for them, I feel. Still 2:35 on the clock. What can they do? Flash Flame looking to push this one back towards the middle. Forest Lake, they are pulling very far forward, looking to shut down that middle of the field, but Crosswork can just go high with it. Goes for the dribble, goes for the reset, tries to finish with the pinch, but it gets intercepted at the tail end of it all. It was intercepted by Lush, who my eyes are going to be on once again to make the plays happen. Lush actually crosses up defenders, but can't get it by Crosserer, who has been doing a fantastic job being a spy against Lush. Every time Lush makes a touch on the ball, it seems to be Crosserer who responds in kind by the Forest Lake Lions. And that's so good, the Lions. That's so good for them, as Crosserer again just does enough on defense to make the save. Still about just over 100 seconds remaining in this match as Flash Flame looking for a hat trick or perhaps a pass. Either way, all winds up in no man's land, where we are going to see Alexa try to drive it forward. Promicon slows the pace down, but Dishonored's already there. Pass back to Lush. Shot. Target saved by Crosserer, who keeps themselves behind. As we approach our final minute and a half, Alexa's got another chance. Got a bit of a dunk play. The ball gets crossed up. Going to need another touch. Does get it to the backboard. Ball up for grabs. Dishonored can't keep it moving forward. And now that could lead to the fizzle of this attack as Promicon pushes it back to the blue side of the field. Still a minute 15 to go. A goal required by Forest Lakes, I feel like, to give them that hope, that confidence, but they got to get it sooner than later. Dishonored, Lush, each of them missed the ball, and Crosser now has a breakaway. A goal here could end it, but cannot quite wrap around in time to take advantage of that breakaway. Lush keeps it held in the box. Swing and a miss from Dishonored, though, and a chance from Flash Flame to go and end this one. A hat trick in Game 7. Flash Flame takes the series over. And you can see the pressure coming through on the side of Forest Lakes. A couple whiffs in front of the net, and it's all starting to fall apart. Meanwhile, JPC coming alive. Flash Flame, a hat trick in the game that matters most to get them into the grand final. Now it's 45 seconds away from that state final appearance. Game's not over yet, though. Shot on target. It's going to be saved by Promicon. But as the clock keeps on tick-tocking down, it's looking more and more likely that the JBC team that's starting to run into each other has survived this late attack from Forest Lakes. And I use the word survive not very lightly, because Forest Lake showed a lot of heart and determination to come back in this series. They were in control. The momentum was in their favor. But when the chips were down, it was Flash Flame who stepped up, gets themselves the hat trick. Crossroar as well with those defensive efforts had been absolutely massive. As we add yet another one in, Lush has already kind of dropped the surrender button, it looks like. As you can see right there, the second that they saw that ball was going in the net, they knew it was over. JPC are going to be taking their team to the grand final. Now, again, I'm going to need to bring up the comparison between these two teams, because if you were to compare their sort of results in this matchup, the Wolfpack beat Grace Lutheran College 4-1. They looked a lot more dominant in their series. This one, back and forth, goes to that Game 7, which we kind of called straight away, by the way. At the end of Game number 1, I'm like, oh, this one's going 7. So, yeah, I'm giving myself a pat on the back. And everyone who agreed with me on that, pat on the back as well. In fact, everyone who played, just a pat on the back. That was a great series. But I don't think we can compare those results too entirely, to be quite fair to both of these teams, because you have to remember how Grace Lutheran actually got to that position. As we take another look at the final standings right there, 4-3 from JPC Esports. Fantastic job for them to come back. But the Grace Lutheran College, they got to the semifinals pulling off a bit of an upset to get themselves in that position, and we sort of saw them against that number 1 seeded team where they did struggle. There was a bit of a skill differential. I feel like had we seen either the Esports Eagles or the Forest Lake Lions kind of go up against them, we would have seen a similar result. I feel that when we actually look at this grand final matchup, it's going to be a lot closer than perhaps the Wolfpack may be ready for. And if the Eagles can get some of that early magic, that early momentum, perhaps they can carry themselves through to a grand final victory. Either way, we're going to be throwing it to a quick break. I kind of need to rest my breath a bit. I hope you can bear with me. But when we do come back, guess what? It's going to be grand final time. All the chips are now on the table. Everyone's going all in. Only one team can be our state champion. Will it be St. Edmunds or will it be John Paul College? Stick with us and find out. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
as much about human relationships as I thought.
I can picture what you're thinking of. My imagination's not enough. Oh, no, it's not safe to say what you're always looking for. Hey, someone to make you feel like don't wanna think of all the who's that you can pick and choose for. Talk about us like you want it. Stop talking like, ooh, we ain't lost it. You don't seem to know.
It's been a great event up until this point. I mean, how can it not be when you see best of 7 series go the distance? But now it comes to its hopefully dramatic, exciting, thrilling conclusion as our two best high schools of the state are set to go at it. We're going to be looking at the Wolf Pack taking on the Eagles, more animal-themed teams, I suppose, about to throw down SEC versus JPC. As you can see it right there. So far today, we saw SEC win quite comfortably against the Grace Gamers, followed by JPC getting a very dramatic win over a resurging Forest Lake Lions. Now, as we head into our last match, the question remains, who is going to be our champion when it's all said and done? A look at the tournament to get to this point. It's been a long road for these teams. Well, long as in they've gotten through two best-of-sevens in order to get here. JPC, they beat the Redbacks. They beat the Lions. For the Wolfpack, first it was the Makos, then it was the Grace Gamers, and now they are set to throw down. What's interesting for me coming into this is we haven't actually seen JPC get a clean sweep yet. They of the two teams, they haven't gotten a clean sweep. Both their series, they have given up games. Meanwhile, the Wolfpack, in contrast, they have only given up one game on their journey to this point. So it's been a very dominant ride for the Wolfpack thus far, and they're going to be looking to maintain that, looking to continue with it. Mechanically, this Wolfpack team, incredibly strong, but something that the JPC Esports Eagles have done that have impressed me has been that ability to keep their opponents pinned down on their own backboard when they choose to. It's when they start to play passive that I start to have concerns. Either way, we are on the pitch. It is grand final time, kicking things off. As you can see, straight away, the Wolfpack were initially on that attack, doing some cheeky little plays from Rising to dodge out and open up a net. Oh my goodness, Rising making the Eagles look a little foolish right there. You can see they go for the demo, and Rising just slow plays it, which also causes the counterattack to get a little crossed up as well. And you got yourself a 1-0 lead for the Wolfpack just 15 seconds in. On the kickoff as well, Rising looking to do it again. Didn't quite have the angle for the double touch from underneath. Din takes a crack at it, but is unable to put it through. Rising going to be a player to watch, though. Rising was instrumental in that victory over earlier today, I should say, when the Wolfpack were able to beat the Crazy Gamers Elite. Sorry, I got a little distracted because Crosserer just got themselves another goal as well. As you can see right here, we saw Crosserer do this actually in that last semifinal as well. Those late flicks, just enough to get past defenses. I think it's time we do run through the roster, though, before we get too far into it for each side. For the Wolfpack, Cameron, thank you. Yeah, Camera. Are you not following along? Here we go, Camera. There we go. We've got ourselves Did. We've got ourselves Rising, and we got ourselves Sam. Meanwhile, of course, for the side of the Eagles, it is Promicon, it is Crosserer, who is own goaling as we cut to him. Sam's going to get credit for that. What just happened right there? Watching this replay, you can see Rising just kind of put it towards the middle. Sam got good contact on it, and okay, I take that back, Crosserer. My apologies. I thought you were the one who made contact. Nope, it was Sam who was able to put it through. Sam gets credit for that goal as we take a look at Flash Flame as well on the Eagles side. A 2-1 lead currently in favor of the Wolfpack. You see right here, Promicon look to push it up the side of the field. Now's a chance to play off that backboard. Swing and a miss from a very aggressive attacking side. Look, we're only 1 minute into a best-of-7. That's right. Once again, catching a best-of-7 as Rising's now going to make it 3-1 in favor of the Wolfpack. So you can go to an early lead. Don't get me wrong. But that early lead might not necessarily mean you're going to win the series. So far, in both of our semifinals, we have gone 1-1, essentially, in each of those series. So we've kind of forced best-of-5 situations. 2 semifinals in a row. As we see Rising now looking for another goal. Nearly had the power to drive it in, but the Eagles were there to make the save. As Din going to put one back over to Rising, setting up Sam's shot, looking for that top left bin. Not quite accurate enough to get it. All right, I'm going to be honest with you, Twitch chat. I'm a little bit confused right now, and I'm going to need your help on something that might not be too competitive in a sense, but it is somewhat Rocket League related. Samp, who we're watching take a shot right here, doesn't get the goal. Is this car good or ugly? I can't tell. Is this style? Is this the style the kids are using, or is this thing ugly? I honestly have no idea. It looks like a fancy Nike, but in car form right now. That's my thought. I don't know. You guys decide for yourself, though, as we see Flash Flame kind of play through the corner right there. You know what? I'm going to credit this, though. Sam's got his own style, and that's something that should be applauded. All right? But style doesn't always mean success. As we see Din put a goal in, even though Sam... Actually, you know what? Success in this regard is definitely in play. I mean, they put everything they had to get out of the way of that shot out of Din. So well done by Sam. Better job by Din in that getting that goal. As we now got a 4-1 lead. I just don't think I like the Lamborghini. I think that could be what it is. Car's ugly. Okay, good to know. Wow. Okay. Look. Fair enough. I'm glad I have all your feedback. I didn't think it would be that one-sided, so I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to be the contrarian. I like the car. I think it's a unique style. I think you got to flash those threads that you have, and again, I would actually love that, like, you know, in shoes themselves. I reckon those are sweet sneaker colors. Either way, I don't think Sam cares what people think about that car. I think Sam just cares about getting the win right now, and at the moment, it is going in favor of the Wolfpack. You see that ball start to fall back. Din looking to stick with the play from underneath. Can only go so far with it until it's going to be taken off once again. Ball played through that corner as well. As we saw this a bit in our first series as well. The Wolfpack get out to a fast start, and then they'll slow the tempo of the game down. They'll kind of go into cruise control for a little while, and sometimes that might create openings, as we nearly saw right there. Rising, forced to get underneath it, makes a save, and that actually could lead to a rather fast counterattack. It will be crossed up by Crosser, a pass across the middle from Rising, but no one quite there. As we see a shot from Din right now being set up through Paramikon off the backboard, where Din will collect, throwing it to Sim, who gets it to Rising, who gets a very nice flick, but it doesn't lead to a goal, and Sam can't quite follow it through. Oh my goodness. Rising continues to impress, though. This player throughout the day has been next level, but so too has Crosser, who just didn't have enough power to get that goal, and that might be the final blow right there. Unfortunately, for the side of JPC, their Game 1 hopes are slowly crashing down as they continuously find themselves on their own defensive half. Sam, backboard looks open. That's a pass. That's a shot. Rising. Go. Couldn't quite put it on that inside. Sam still going to try to create some pressure as the ball comes off the post once more. Swing and a miss from Sam. As, defenders bump into each other. That's going to allow Crosser to go underneath. Nice little fake, but isn't able to fake out Din as well. Only goes one player with it. Still 45 seconds left on that clock. Ball being held up high. Rising. Now looking to take it back down low. It's going to be collected. Din. Touch. Stays with it. Stays with it. Eventually lets it waterfall down, but no follow-up's going to be there. 30 seconds to go. 3-goal lead. Safe to say game number 1 is going to go in favor of the Wolfpack. They're going to be up 1-0 in this grand final. As we let that clock tick-tock right on down, a reminder for what these players are playing for, because not only are they going to be walking away, whoever is the victor of this series, as the inaugural Queensland State champions of HSL. Din's going to go ahead and put another goal just to sort of emphasize the point of how badly they want to be those inaugural champions. But again, thanks to our, some of our lovely friends over at APOS, we also have, some headsets that are going to be given away to both the winners and the runner-ups. The winners are going to be getting those Onyx Black headsets. The runner-ups will be getting the Ghost White H3, I should say, headsets. So very, very, very slick pieces of hardware. 6-1 as another kickoff goal goes through. Do we see the Brazil? I mean, the Brazil's now on the table, all right? Someone just kind of walked up in the past 10 seconds and was like, hey, I'm going to take this Brazil scoreline. I'm just going to put it right here. Do you want it, Wolfpack? No. Okay. Apparently they don't want it. They're saying you can keep the Brazil scoreline. We might want it later, though, so don't put it entirely away. Just in the back pocket. We'll see where this series goes from here, because there's still a chance that that could come into play. But game number 1, a dominant showing from the Wolfpack right there. And I wish I could say this is a bit of a shock right now, but if you sort of have been following this team and have been following this tournament, and the Wolfpack, they are good. There's no other way around it right now. I mean, the combination, I feel, between Rising and Dim is absolutely monumental. I think these two, with the attacking synergy, is near perfect. And what we see from Samp, traditionally in more of that third-man role, although was playing a little bit further forward, actually, in this most recent game, that should be worth noting as well. Just consistency out of this player. Hasn't been necessarily the same playmaker, but has been consistent throughout. And that is a dangerous sign. When essentially you have 3 dangerous players together, you get teams like Ground Zero. And I'm not saying that the SEC Wolfpack are on par with Ground Zero, but it's a similar feel within the confines of this competition right now, where you just got a team where you can look at every single player and make an argument for them being one of the best in the tournament as a whole. Case in point, only takes 32 seconds for Rising to get the first point on the board. The Wolfpack are on a tear, and they just keep putting on more and more points right here. Another goal scored in favor of the Wolfpack right now. That's going to be a great goal. As we see a kickoff going to go in favor of Rising right now. Actually opts to not stay with that play. We now see the ball go up the other way. Crosser, open net. And that's just going to get drilled absolutely in. A 1-1 ball game. As we see Crosser just taking advantage of what looked to be a case of the Wolfpack having pressed too far forward right there. Not able to rotate back in time. And I think the fact that Crosser got that goal is actually going to be important because when we go back to that last semifinal against Forest Lakes, Crossriver was the catalyst for when we started to see, this team turn things around. However, well, you get some momentum, and it's going to be Samp who actually looks to take it away. Granted, Rising with that last touch, the 50 going their way, and not only that, but to put the ball in the perfect spot for Samp to find that open net. Lead taken right on back by the Wolfpack. And this is, I was talking recently to, wow, double touch goal. I'm sorry I did not do that justice, Rising. By the time I recognized you were about to drill a sweet double touch, it was already too late. I was looking back into the annals of my mind for another sort of story to talk about, but someone clipped that double touch because Rising's going to want that. But no, back to what I was trying to talk about, that challenge that Rising made before. Like, how many plays can Rising make? But going back to the tasks that we saw from Rising before, I was talking to popular streamer and high elo player Junior Tins recently about like 50-50s in general and how much skill it takes to consistently not only win 50-50s, but find the ways to put the ball exactly where you want it to. In what situations do you want to be the first or the second player to touch it? Are you aware of your teammates? Can you sort of adapt to where the enemy teammates are and sort of further predict how your opponent is going to come at the ball? And something that I've noticed from Rising in particular, more so than some of the other players on the pitch right now, is Rising's 50s always find ways to teammates. So this is someone who is very experienced at reading the map and reading the movements of their opponents to always put the ball in a 50-50 situation exactly where they want it. So I absolutely love what Rising has been doing in this game. As we see Crosser now looking to throw it back over. Flash Flame, the hero of Game 7. Well, it's not Game 7 yet. It's only Game 2. And as a result, unable to get that ball through. Flash Flame's going to have to wait, a few more games to reach that peak power level. As we see a lobber actually lead to a bit of a miss. Of course, error right there. And now Rising is going to play it forward and punish. Give Rising the hat trick in game number 2. And we're not even halfway through this one just yet. As you can see, a swing and a miss from Promicon. As I think Promicon was looking for a defensive pass back, but decided against it at the last moment. Either way, I mean, Rising was just coming screaming up the pitch right there. Saw the opening, takes advantage of it. And we now got ourselves a 3-goal cushion. Normally, this is where I would start to relax and be like, yep, 3 goals, all right. Let's chill out. Let's wait for that next game, especially when we kind of watch the Wolfpack be on the attack. But from what we've seen so far in this league and in this tournament, I think it's not until you get to the 5-goal sort of lead that you start to relax. We've seen we've already seen one 3-goal comeback already earlier today. Here's to see if we'll see another. We see Promicon. Actually, I'm sorry, it was a 2-goal comeback. It wasn't a 3-goal comeback. It nearly was a 3-goal comeback. So we haven't actually seen one yet today. So maybe we can relax a little bit if we are rooting for the Wolfpack. But if we're rooting for the JPC Esports Eagles, we're thinking we haven't seen a 3-goal comeback yet today. That just means one's due, right? And why not try to make it happen on the attack right now? See that pass back across the middle. Din going to go for the challenge, actually went out over the top. Going to keep that attacking pressure there. I'm always so impressed with how the Wolfpack just pile on the attacks as well. As soon as that ball hits the backboard, they are already in position with that next player to play it forward. They just control the middle of the pitch so well. Caster Curse, of course. The moment I call out to it, we see a little bit of a miss from Samp. It happens. I mean, I could almost say the same thing about JPC. I think JPC are a little bit further forward, though. And that's a big difference between the two teams when they're on the attacking half. JPC will get right in your face and play as far forward as possible, but they're also setting up a bit further forward. Whereas you compare that to the Wolfpack, they flow all the way to the midfield line just behind it and then pick their moments when to play it forward right now. And they wait to get a better understanding. So it's a bit more reckless abandonment at times coming from JPC, which can be a good or a bad thing depending on your opponents. Like, I'm not necessarily going to say one of these styles is better than the other. Obviously, in this game thus far, SCC has had more success, but I think there are other factors at play in that, largely being how SCC has been able to sort of disrupt at times the Eagles' defense. Also, Rising has just been rising to that next level. The 50s, I really feel like, have been the big differential in this series, and as long as Rising is going to continue to kind of put 50s, and now Samp as well actually has been getting stronger with those 50s as well, we're going to be seeing perhaps the Wolfpack in control of the direction in this one. Flash Flame trying to get some pressure on, but won't be able to put it through just yet. As we hit our final 17 seconds, it's going to be game number 2 going in favor of the Wolfpack. They're going to go up 2-0 in this series. Eventually, the ball will hit the ground in these final 10 seconds and then might even stay there. You know what would be interesting in Rocket League? And this is a terrible idea that would just ruin all sense of competitive integrity. But if on the rain maps we got mud, and if the mud just caused the ball to, like, stick in it sometimes and, like, roll slower and not get as much bounce through, I reckon that'd be a fun little thing to add to the game, a fun little sort of way to disrupt things. Obviously, players would hate it because you're changing things and it's not the same anymore, and everything sort of, when you're playing in a competitive environment, and for good reason too, I'm not mocking the players for thinking this way, you want as little up to chance as possible. And that's one of the great things about Rocket League. There's little to no RNG. People could argue that demo explosions sometimes might cause RNG issues, but for the most part, little to no RNG in games like Rocket League, and if you were to add weather, that could change things. But I don't know, I had a reminiscent of the mind of a gridiron game. I think it was between the Dolphins and the Steelers back in like 2008 or something, where the ball goes about like 80 meters in the air, falls straight into a mud pit, and just doesn't move. And no bounce, no nothing, just right into the pit. And I want to see that in Rocket League. I just want to see the ball right now fall, hit the ground, not move, and then the game ends. Just it gets stuck, and you have to tow it out. Din, opening goal, 13 seconds in. Kickoff pressure was there. It was a couple touches off that backboard and eventually goes through. Samp on the setup. Don't worry, I'm still paying attention. Crosser thought they had a bit more time to get the ball to the corner. Just not quite there. It's a 1-0 lead. Now in favor of the Wolfpack. And they score so quick out of the gates. That's been another recurring theme for the Wolfpack as well. They'll put you on that back foot so early. They'll get multiple quick goals, and then they will kind of just chill out and conserve themselves, it feels like, as they get another fast one out of Din as well. 2 quick goals from this player, 1 away from the hat trick, and we're not even 20 seconds into our third game. Wolfpack they are putting on a very, very strong performance. And they already on pace to take us to tournament point. We'll see if they're going to be able to keep that momentum. I am very concerned, though, just from how few scoring opportunities we've seen out of JPC, if they're going to be able to find more. Perhaps Flash Flame can find it here. I think Flash Flame, though, might be that type of player who needs to wait until, you know, the back is entirely against the wall, until it's match point against them, then will just become unleashed, as now Samp is going to get involved on these scoring plays, just able to get that touch off that sidewall, put it into the net. Here we go. 3-0 lead in favor of the Wolfpack as they continue to keep putting points on and on and on, just driving their lead further forward. Din, great challenge, turns it into a pinch. Oh my goodness, and with that pressure now is looking to turn it into a pass to Samp, and that right there was immaculate. I think that's going to be my favorite goal of the tournament. Not even being sarcastic or hyperbolic. Din's ability to win the 50, find the pinch to get the momentum. I think there was a wave dash as well to get the speed to follow it up because Din did not have that boost. And then to turn it into a pass. That was disgusting from Din. I know Din didn't get the goal, and I feel kind of bad because I feel like for Samp, every time the Samp is able to get a goal, it's the setup that's just been catching my eyes. But Din just, that was out of his mind, or out of their mind, I should say, insane on the setup and the pass right there. And for JBC, when your opponents are making plays like that happen, what can you do? It is so difficult to defend against right now. If you're not used to playing against players who have those types of plays in their arsenal, you got to stick to your own game. And it has felt like for the JBC Eagles, their game has been trying to keep the ball lower to the ground and through the middle of the pitch. That seems to be where they've been attacking the ball the most so far in this series. And it hasn't really resulted in a lot of success for them. I mean, Promicon missing the ball is probably not going to help this type of situation. And the reason why they've been forced to play like that, though, is because defensively, that's realistically the only option that the Wolfpack has been given to them. Because the Wolfpack are so keen to keep the ball up high on that backboard or play it through those corners, the only place left on the pitch has been the center. And while normally that's all well and good for fast counterattacks, they also need to get enough force to drive it deep, and that hasn't been the case. It's kind of been more shots like that out of crosser where they're keeping the ball slow and in front of them because they haven't been able to really afford the boost and the resources to get some of these driving proactive plays. it's just been a tough game for the Eagles. However you look at this one strategically right now, the Wolfpack been shutting down so many of their options. Just a mix of the aggression and the mechanical ability. Crosser as well. Feels like their play has been negated a fair bit, as there's always someone on Crosser responding whenever Crosser gets that touch. As we see another goal go through by Din right now. The Wolfpack now up 5-0. This is just turning into a absolute deconstruction of how you play the game of Rocket League right now by the Wolfpack. They are not leaving anything up for question right now, and with 2 minutes remaining, a 5-0 lead. We saw a semi-reverse sweep get shut down before. Do we see the reverse sweep proper in our grand final? That's the question the JPC Eagles are going to have to be asking themselves. Meanwhile, when Mr. Brazil came along and put that scoreline on the table, we asked him to hold on to it. We said we might need it later. We're now at a 6-0 score. Has it been brought out again? Is it back on the table? Are we considering seeing that 7-1 scoreline? Well, for that to happen, we need to see the 1, but we also need to see the 7. And as it looks like the 7's being set up right now, Crosser says no. We're not allowing that. No memes today, just our dreams that we're going to be looking to realize. As they're looking to try to find that counterattack right here. Crosser does get demoed. And Samp will collect. Now looking to drive it back up that other way. Runs into a bit of traffic. Can only go so far with it as Flash Flame throws it back up the other way. Ball getting slowed down in the corner. Crosser looking for a teammate across the middle. Ball's a bit high. As we see a follow-up shot. Not quite there in time. The speed from Samp. Too much to handle. And that was all with full boost as well. Samp just conserving the momentum so beautifully. Took that ball all the way to the other side, though. Now we get a bit of a breakaway. There should be a defender wrapping through, and Samp was there. The net wasn't as open as it may have initially looked. Either way, the shot was not even taken. As we go into our final minute of play, SEC, the Wolfpack, St. Edmunds College are going to find themselves at championship point with a victory in this one. 1 game away from taking it all in. Flash Flame across the middle. Actually looks to throw it into the corner. There was the demo, so the path would have been clear. But deciding not to take it. Still 30 seconds to go, though, in this one, as we're kind of in that game for tournament point waiting room right now for that time to tick down all the way. And for the Eagles, I mean, they just need to find a level of play within themselves that I don't think they have reached yet in their Rocket League lifetime, in their Rocket League careers. They are going to be asked right now to play 4 of the best games they have ever played if they are going to bring this one back, because the high level of skill that we are seeing out of the Wolfpack right now as they put in yet another goal to kind of prove this point. It's going to be a challenge. I do believe if their mental is still there, if they still believe they can do this, then so will I. I will still believe that there is going to be a chance for them to make this series interesting. Let's see if they're going to be able to bring it back. Now, for the Wolfpack themselves, I mean, what more can you say? Like, they have just been putting on a clinic. 5 goals for Din, by the way, in that game. I mean, it's been a ridiculous performance. And the scary thing about Wolfpack is how quick they get those leads. And that's what is so mentally taxing. Like, they just seem to get kickoff goals, opening kickoff goals in each and every game that they play in. And I do worry that if we see a kickoff goal straight away from the Wolfpack, that might do it. That might be the final blow against the Eagles. The Eagles cannot afford to let this kickoff goal happen, as we are going to cut back to the pitch right now. It is time for game number 4. Tournament point for St. Edmunds College and the Wolfpack. If they win this game, they win this tournament. Kickoff. It gets pushed to the side real quick, like in Rising's already there. Has boost to play with. Going for the reset, but it gets shut down. So we don't see the kickoff goal immediately, but the attack is still on. Samp keeping on the pressure. Din shot a little bit too tight. And I think we can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief as we see the goal go the other way. Pramikon puts one through. And for the first time in our grand final, JPC take the lead. Rising, not prepared for that late flick, gets it in. Exactly what the Eagles needed. monumental. They defend against the reset, they find the counterattack, and they get that all-important first goal. And guess what? They're nearly able to find another. Samp just saves that one, and a 2-goal deficit could have been very dangerous, actually, for the Wolfpack side. Still not out of danger as we see Flash actually trying to get more pressure. Now flashing with the back against the wall, put on, you know, that semifinal saving performance, as this time the hole! Oh, heart in your mouth right there. The ball gets behind the Eagles' defense. Unable. Put it through, though. As we see St. Edmunds continue. Try and pester that backboard. Trying to find that opening. Samp. Not going to go for the pass. Instead, going to go for the shot. Last second, Din pushes forward, and now Rising. Oh, you cannot allow Rising that space. But how were the Eagles to know Rising was coming? You can see it looked like it was set up for Din. And then Rising, behind the traffic, just sees the opening part in front of them, and they tied this game up. Still 3:51 to go. Still a lot of time, but the Eagles, they need to find their way back in the lead. Crosserer, going to be my player to watch. They do find the setup there. Wow, that was Flash just screaming to get into the play, but it leads into an awkward double commit now. And with only one defender, Crosserer was actually able to fall back and become that second defender and make the save. So well played by Crosserer. However, Samp across that middle of the pitch. I am curious to see some of the stats at the end of this one, like the more detailed stats, the Baker's mod stats, because I feel like Samp has been the fastest on average player on the pitch by a considerable margin. Always flying around, always getting involved. Like, the more I watch Sam play, actually, the more impressed I am as well, which, you know, adds another head to the Hydra. That is the Wolfpack. Or I suppose another wolf to the pack. They're a Wolfpack for the reason. All of them are dangerous. All of them playing like alphas in this one. They still have 2:58 to go. Rising. Going to set themselves up to get that ball further into the corner. Where we see Crosserer now clear it back across the middle of the field. Got down again by Rising. Still only a tie ball game, though. And I think as long as the Eagles can keep this one at least at neutral level, even if it goes all the way to overtime, they stand much better chances. I feel like if they fall behind, that still could be tournament over for them, as they're going to be looking to create something right here. Perhaps Din gets it back across that middle. Whoa, Rising almost able to find that late flip into it. Sam crosses up the defense, and that's the go-ahead goal. That could be the tournament winning goal. As we watch this one again, Samp just able to tighten that setup up, and two defenders in the box, neither make the read. Wolfpack, they have that one goal cushion, and the pressure falls back to the Eagles to equalize it up. Again, it's a tough mountain for the Eagles to climb, and you think they should be able to fly up it, but the wings may have been clipped with that goal right there. They've got to win 4 in a row, and they've got to win the first one. Well, first, as Din, looking to add another goal to the lead, slows the tempo down, but does not fake out Promicon, who is unable to get it back across that middle of the field. Din goes up high, but the ball went low, and Promicon follows it through. Samp racing back on defense, gets the boost. Let's Rising clear it a bit further forward. A chance for Flash, but no, going to find it. As we see Din bring the ball it back right now. It's Crosserer. Will cross it across the middle of the field, but doesn't cross up Rising. He throws it back up into that corner. Still a minute and a half to go. Flashland doesn't get the touch they need, and Promicon whiffs it as well. That actually had a potential for the side of the Eagles, but it's not going to follow through. As we see Din backboard Rising, a chance off the post. It doesn't go in. And with that, the Eagles still within striking distance. As we get closer to our final minute, Rising still wants that 2-goal cushion. Is going to turn it into a pinch against Din, but they're unable to put it accurately through. And now we see Promicon. Oh, actually goes more towards the center than up the field. A little bit surprised by that. Crosser, though, will play for that backboard, looking to fall through underneath. Shot bouncing towards the target. Not on its mark. 50 seconds to go. Time ticking down. It's got to be the Eagles' worst enemy right now, as they've only got 1, maybe 2 more attempts to find this equalizer. Crosserer, yes, he stayed with the play. No, cannot recover in time. The net was open, but the shot was not there. 35 seconds still to go. Promicon may have found another opening as well. You still have Rising back on defense. Misses the ball. Crosserer goes too far forward. Another opportunity, though, shut down by Samp, and the defense holds on. Eagles throwing everything at these setups, but they're not in position to finish them. As we approach our final 15 seconds, Din actually has that pass intercepted, and one more time the Eagles are going to have a crack at it off that backboard, trying to set up Flashland, but it's Rising who clears it the other way. It's off the post and in, and that is your grand final dagger. Rising and Co. for the St. Edmunds Wolfpack win this tournament off of that play right there. Yes, we have 5 seconds left, and the impossible could happen, but you have to think that one does it. St. Edmunds College, a near immaculate performance in this final, and the Eagles threw everything they had till the bitter end. But with that demo, that's got to feel like a sweet bit of revenge for Crosserer. The Wolfpack are the high school champions. Well played to Samp, well played to Rising, well played to Din. This trio dominant from start to finish, not just today, but throughout the entirety of the event. What a great team, what a great story for this squad, and they're going to be happy to be those high school state champions. For the Esports Eagles, though, I love the fight out of them till the bitter end. And that fourth game, I think if we saw more of that in some of the earlier games, the series could have been very interesting. They just needed that one goal. They needed that go-ahead goal, I feel like, to give them the confidence. And if it had come earlier in the series, perhaps we could have seen a different story. But as it stands, really well fought by the Eagles, as well as all of the teams in this tournament who participated. As we take one final look at the brackets right there, you can see the Eagles, they got that win over the Redbacks. They got the win in an amazing best-of-7 against the Lions. But the Wolfpack 4-0, 4-1, 4-0. An absolute warpath. There they are, your champions of the XP HSL Queensland Championship. A very deserving team across the board. Look, I'm just going to say right now, I'm going to name my personal MVP. There's no special prize for this. This is just a personal thing. But if you want an MVP, because I know people love that, I would say give it to Rising. Rising, both in that semifinal and the final, was instrumental for a lot of the setup successes, and some of those individual plays were absolutely unmatched. Granted, play of the game has to be Din with that setup, the pinch into the wave dash, like no boost, perfect pass, like that was insane for me as well. And, well, I guess the speedster, I don't know, the Usain Bolt award, give that as well to Samp, because every time we saw Samp was just mock speed wherever they were on the pitch. Fantastic stuff, though, from top to bottom, again, from all of our teams. And one last time, a big thank you to EPOS for providing the prizing for this event. Again, for our winners, they're going to be getting 3 H3 Onyx Black headsets, and the runner-ups, well, they're going to be getting the Ghost White headsets. So, congratulations to all of them, and again, a big thank you to EPOS for providing that prizing. Would not be able to, put on events like this without sponsors like you, so thank you so very much. And thank you, everyone in the chat, for tuning in. It's been an absolute incredible event. I had a lot of fun with this one, and guess what? This High School Rocket League, it's not done, because the regular season of the HSC League, well, that's going to continue right on along next Monday. So please remember to tune back in 4:30 or 4:20. I believe. It depends what time we start. We usually start in between 4:20 and 4:30. The scheduled time is 4:20. So I'm going to say tune in at 4:20 to come in and watch some more of this high school Rocket League action, because we've seen what one finals looks like. There's another one a few weeks away. So until then, I have been Max Von Neumann, formal casting, whatever you want to call me. I'll see you all out there on the pitch.
Welcome back, John. Same room?
You look even worse than the last time.
Hard finding the time to do anything for myself. With my job and kids, you know.
I sure do. We hear that a lot. Now, just relax.
Ooh, you're on cruise control. Don't I think of all the rules that you can pick and choose. I wanna make you feel like da 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 da.